Okay, and I actually looked at the setting this time, so if I put something else in the background, it won't be too distracting. So like, yeah. Gotta do my usual prep. I have to go live for no particular reason besides nothing. You know, I love like vacations and stuff because I get to like not do anything. Except like go live, and it's like really fun. And also it seems like I'm more proactive, and also I have like better comparisons when I want to compare work speeds or whatever. Shut up. Okay, now it turned off. Yeah.
Estás pensando en escribir o SMR y eres una persona
I'm gonna
inquieta,
kill myself.
ambiciosa,
Is that
que
like
quiere
a
hacerlo.
valid response? Here. I have to work on like who's it? Skiffs. I can't even remember anymore. Yes. I have to work on like a few gifts. Like who's the face? I have snowglorbz is down. And those are like most of them. Let me just list them off real quick. Maybe okay, now I've done first 4, so that means I'm missing 8. Snuggle the Entity, Gold Runner, Moonpool, Dawn, Counter-Strike, Toby, and Dawn Comet. It's a separate character that I now realize that's kind of horrible. I should have just kept Dawn as a river. I had them in the old list as a river, but who got fodder? If anything comes up, which I think it like should. I haven't got copyright strike for the other video, I think. Let me check my YouTube statistics. What? Okay. Nothing here. Okay, so then there's no copyright strikes or anything, which is. I got scared the other day because I got like sort of copyright claimed because of like a short segment of like a song that I didn't know was copyright claimed. Oh my god! And I actually managed to give my physics teacher the shirt I was working on for him. So that was fun. Should like turn on animation mode. I'm animated, but I'm busy. Okay, always show the first frame. Okay, I'm gonna move these two to like a parent color one. Yeah, dude. It shouldn't matter. You know, this would be like this little moment now, like a regular recording I do. Like, you know what happened to me today? Except there's like nothing that's happened to me today. This is why I do lives, because I don't have anything I'm particularly pissed about. I'll have to change my hit list status soon. Thinking about opening another one. When the other one closes, because the other one closes like on the 27th. Who does one achieve those little footsies? Or is it like one? No, I think I'm just. Okay, we just gotta solve whatever problem we have here before we move on. Dude, I don't know. The heat's not really messing with me that much. The point here where like beans are kind of I don't know what I'm gonna do with my list blinkies because I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do all of them because I also want to do like bookmark attacks. I don't want to be just stuck animating. If I can animate all 4 of these, I think I can do it for artfight. But like I'm in the flow now. It's like not the same when you come back from like a break and then because what I'm going on is technically a break. It's not like they're like plumper. This is like a very ineffective way of animating, and I know that, but it's okay. Generator. Random question generator. Yeah, might kiss my ass. No, is art truly art or merely sophisticated? What the fuck? No. What? I don't even know what that is. That seems like some hippie shit. No, we agreed that first layer was gonna be this one, so that way there's less. Oh my god, these colors! I hate past me so much. Also, yeah, yesterday's gift didn't save properly. Okay, come on, bro. Dude, can we stop? No. Dude, what? Okay, Jesus Christ. Conversation. Okay, I'm looking for like random stuff because I'm generally stumped on what to talk about. So okay, what the fuck does it say over here? What artistic medium often overlooked holds the most profound resonance to you? I don't know. I don't know. You know, I hate when people go, I don't know. You ask them literally anything as a, I don't know, it depends. Literally all of my classmates this year, bruh. This, what does it mean for you? And I don't know, it depends. Dude, they asked on your opinion. Burchard show, Chip. Speak. You know, yeah, I'm scared. I was scared to talk this year because, fair. I don't know, I was hanging out with a friend, I don't know if she was watching, she or he or they are watching, but I was hanging out physical with someone else, and I said like, oh, I'm so slow, I only did like 2 headshots and a single reference yesterday. He looked at me, he's like, I can't do that. And then I realized, oh my god, I'm going too fast. Alright. And like, more about it again. Oh shit. I think I'm gonna end stream early. The thing that I've deep been streaming, so probably not. Okay, no. I'm like curious. I reached the grave chapter 3 a few hours ago. The flower. Okay, have not Had to end the stream early. Huzzah! Dude, can I kill the 7 parasite flowers? Oh wait, that thing's the cyan? Artfight like always. Talking to Mood on Instagram. It's very important, so...
Un mundo más PPS, un mundo sin letra pequeña. Fibra y móvil con principios. Llámanos gratis al 1706. Pepezón.
Okay. Tony. Gotta work to my audience of no one, but still, it's very important. Cause it's too woke. I can wait a little longer. Okay. Work! I get it. Moot's fun, but work is a life. Also, we gotta print our bookmarks out. No, foot has to go a little bit. No. Charlie Kirk. Torture. Scott. Bro. Okay. Come on, my guy. You still gotta write everything down. I know I've got today and tomorrow, but today and tomorrow I want to do something else that isn't, you know, slaving away. This guy. Hannah. It's just Hannah at this point. You don't even know. No, I'm distracted. Can I just switch the legs? If I just surgically remove this one. It actually looks decent. I just realized that. Papaiton. Yellow and blue are basically Papaiton. Okay. Shut up, I'm busy! I'm busy with my stuff! Okay, just gotta, like, make that go around, make that go around as well. Switch them feet around. Wait. They sent a TikTok.
Perhaps you haven't realized yet. The only reason you were the strongest sorcerer in history was simply because I wasn't born yet.
Me getting along with people's getting my way professionally. Not really. I'm not doing that much. Oh my god. Thank you so much. Bro. Okay, it's my teacher. Okay, cool. It's nice. Okay. I forgot I actually have his phone number. Let me sit down. Sí, un placer ser tu tutor. I'm just gonna heart the messages. Aww, he's so cute. Aww, he's so cute. Aww, I don't know how to react. My Jesus Christ. Ah! So distracted. Work. Let's talk about them chapter 5. I think the fandom perspective has changed a lot. Like, maybe it's just because it's like the second day after Deltarune. Maybe I'm just into looking into stuff a lot better. Not. I'm glad that snowglorbz doesn't have any, like, not fun, face markings. Mostly everything's just well-defined. Well-ish defined. Okay, no. There you go. Probably shouldn't make the dorsals. It's okay, it's fine. Lock. No. Protect alpha. Every time I say protect alpha, I feel like those, like, alpha male videos. I think that I'm finished today. I'll probably finish off stream. Dude, I'm like, Jesus Christ. I feel like I've entered somewhere and suddenly I'm like the most socialist social butterfly that's ever graced the earth. I am not the slightest bit social, like, at all. I still hang out with, like, the same 3 punks. I hang out with the same 3 punks, but I don't know, it feels like I'm hanging out every day. Now I'm hanging out with whoever's face. Well, yeah. I mean, no, I would say except yesterday, but yesterday I also did partially talk to someone, and, you know, other summers I don't. Like, radio silence from me. Right there you could see, like, a tumbleweed flying out. No. Fortunately, I don't have to color in the stupid headband thing. I think because I was struggling a lot with my snowglorbz design. I'm gonna talk about snowglorbz a little bit because they're a near dear character to me, I guess. But like, they're less like they're near and dear, more like they're old and have that like same nostalgia bait as like someone like Crystal. Well, no. Who can I say? Like, if you start to watch a show, like Has-Been Hotel, for example, like, you can fall in love with a character and then, like, they slowly deteriorate. And it's kind of like, he didn't see it coming, but, like, still stings. You still have that nostalgia bait or whatever. It's like you still fell in love with that character and they're still very near and dear to your heart, but the way they're portrayed like in the show currently is like not for you. So you kind of like stick to the original version of them, if that makes sense. That's how I feel about that's how I feel about snowglorbz. Like, as a character. I think about them sometimes, but it's mostly in relation to protect alpha. I haven't turned that on. Whoops. but I think of them in like a relation to like someone else, or like I used to be so attached, you know. I don't know if you know, but yeah, you know. They're like an old OC, and I was struggling a lot because I, like, the last time I drew a riff for them was like 2024. 2024, I switched personas. I was using Dawn, River at that time. Okay, that too. They used to go by River, and I do prefer that. But it's okay. I might switch them next art fight if that bugs me a lot. I mean, if it bugs me enough, I will change it. But I feel like to differentiate between the other Dawn is kind of like definitely more of a support role in the story. Dawn Command is a lot more support-y. No, wait, they're not. They're kind of both integral parts of the story. Fuck. I care about one more than I care about the other. aka I think about one more than I think about the other. Guess who? It's Dawn. I care a lot more about Dawn than Dawn Command, especially because I have to switch the name. Whoever gets the name switch is the one that I care for less in any kind of situation, okay? Except me. If it's a me named switch, then it's for my safety and comfort. Dude. Jesus Christ, why am I getting recommended country dogs? I don't want to. Leave me alone. Peeper. I wanna make, you know what I wanna do? I wanna make Mrs. Midnight Mask. I feel. Oh, why Mrs. Midnight and not Eclipse? Oh wait, crud. I forgot to put the avatar. Whoops, whoops. I'm gonna get flamed. I just remembered. I like culp. I'm sorry. I'm just dude. It's been. Okay, it's thankfully been a little bit. Okay, it's salvageable. Okay, far. I did not notice that after like a solid while. When I said Eclipse, I remember that. Oh my god. You know, the old personal recordings, I used to use the avatar just to get used to it, and now I just don't. And it isn't weird per se. It's just I look at old recordings and it's kind of clunky because it covers like half of the screen. And for, you know, lives and stuff, it makes sense for like obvious reasons why. But like for personal use, why would you plop that down like right there? Why would you keep that? So I just decided to remove it because why wouldn't you? If you realize something's clunky, you don't need it to be clunky. Also, because when I tried to put it on like a video and like a video of any kind, it was very interrupting, and it made a lot of clips very useless because it was just kind of there poking out. Okay. Do, 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 do. Oh yeah, gotta duplicate that. Okay, there's, yeah, this specific frame is kind of clunky in production. Do, 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 do. Okay, I think it's pretty okay. Animation mode. Stamps. New one. 7. Yes. I'll save this as 7. Should probably close you. New. There you go. And now who's next on my little list of doom? The entity. Oh my goodness. Also, if anyone's wondering, yes, I do have my folders labeled by year. Kind of completely irrelevant, but I have my folders organized by year, so that way I can keep track of what's it called? Organize it by year just so I can keep track of what year I did that on. I could look at like dates and stuff, but it's less messy. And this is like in a big folder called art, so I don't lose it. Do, 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 100. I think for like the entity and who's it called, Counter-Strike, I'm gonna make like a shaky image because I cannot bring myself to draw them individually, if you get what I mean. Also, when I do eventually finish all of them, I will... Oh my fart! Cherry bomb with holly leaf and soul? What the fuck? Enough. Too little, too late. How do you sit? Because it's like a head wear tentacle thing. It's like this crest thing, little thing, and like torso, this thing, and like the legs. So now that I'm lazier, it's just that humanoids. I don't draw humanoids like ever, and I'm not. I'm not. You know?
I feel like even just saying that is a little controversial. Ooh, I'm sure you've seen.
That includes tweets making reference to them going as far back as a decade ago, and even making a whole song dedicated to baby furs that he performed at a FurCon in 2015 called Crinkle Whack.
Yeah, no. Okay.
That all this baby for defense is just one giant form of cognitive dissonance from a man who can admit he's the one in the wrong and instead has to lie to everyone it's convenient. He's even been in contact with a slew of known zoophiles and pedos, such as Nacho Doggo here, trying to get a room with Growly at one point, and has gone on to run defense for RC5 website in his bookmarks that leads to a text document explaining how to do dogs. He would go on and claim that he was sent a link and found it so interesting someone would even try to downplay the mental sickness as something disgusting. However, in late DMs he was saying he found out about the link and looked up something else. So it seems like he was lying again to people to try to get heat off his back. He also had 2 gore sites in his bookmarks too, so make of that whatever you will. On March 12th, 2022, Gordon appeared on a live stream of 2 people in which you would expect the evidence to be some sort of pseudo character roleplay and try to imply a can't be used against it because that's what was real life rolling fantasy according to the view.
But when I see F-list, I assume that you have a fetish for animals. Not
That's not, first off, F-list is not about fetishes that somebody has. It has to do with roleplaying, only roleplaying.
There's also a member of the Cat's NSFW Telegram channel, a channel that has a multitude of people posting real NSFW artifacts. He would say that he sometimes watches videos of cats killing each other, and then fantasizes about a real cat he saw having experiences with other cats. When called out about this, he would lie to someone not too familiar with the story that he was actually fantasizing about anthropomorphic cats when that's clearly not the case. When called out about it with Cass and Cody Lovely, he would try to avoid the question as he kept pushing on with the mess.
On that subject, why don't you bring up why you actually watched the cat mating videos back in 2018 and screenshot them later in your channel?
Because I had a YouTube binge where I was fascinated by the fact that, like, it was, well, I mean, if I get too detailed, again, I'm sort of afraid, like, okay, what if a minor is watching this stream? That's what I'm genuinely worried about, because obviously talking about stuff like this is, can hurt their brains. Do we know that this audience to the stream is all adults, or is it PG-13?
Yeah, it really feels like you just want to avoid the question. What are you doing along in a stream and all participate?
But it's also said that his mom showed him a beast video to him once and that was apparently funny to him. And given his mom was a photographer for horse races, this didn't sound too far from reality. In that stream with Cass and Cody Lovely, he would defend himself by giving more context to the clip, claiming it was actually a comedic video akin to a sort of mild Twitter shock clip.
I don't know if this is like mildly suggestive. I didn't think so. I didn't say so.
But you have to be patient because obviously there's a lot of stuff. So with that one particular comment, one thing I realized was I forgot to talk about the part where the woman was sitting on a bench while this was happening and fell backwards, and that's why it was funny because it was like instant karma. But that part I neglected to leave in. But I think what happened was I was visualizing it, and this was like before YouTube. Like the way you'd find funny videos is there'd be these basically a whole bunch of videos you could download on these pages, and they were all just whatever craziness. And every once in a while they might have like some sort of funny pornography, like kind of like outtakes, like pornography outtakes, and that's basically what that is from. But yeah, like if you were to read that comment, it doesn't say anything about a bench, like it was either bench breaking or I think the lady fell backwards. It didn't say anything about that. So that's how that misunderstanding popped up. But
During the situation with Dev alleging that he did his dog to over cage farms, his family is also apparently aware of it too, as he says both his mother and sister laugh at the absurdity going on, which given the lack of evidence to that claim, certainly does sound like one of those rare plausible things that could have happened. Ford has also gone on record to talk about age differences in a negative light.
Don't mind.
Talk about the Jasona fight situation. JC was also apparently in Ford's private Telegram chat and started talking really suspect about children at one point.
Mind my
Anyone can impersonate anyone on Telegram and the fact that
sound being ass. Me. Chicken butt.
It turns out to no one's surprise that in 2014, Corda's in contact with the 17-year-old girl when he was 27. The leaked messages come from Facebook and read from bottom to top soon after meeting up somewhere, with the girl commenting on how they were cuddling together while watching a movie. She would talk about herself to him as he wouldn't even try to steer the conversation in a different direction or tell her not to talk that way to an adult like himself, including talking about how he'll listen to her when she has to look at a certain body part, with the girl even showing fear and stuff going down between them as he keeps the conversation going instead of immediately stopping it and telling her that this is wrong. The girl would even tell him that he needs to pretend he's 20 in case he meets her mother, with him not objecting to this idea because he likes her too much. They would meet up together on April 17, 2014. Would say he was successful even if they didn't offer him some of the questions they had, and then it would come in that he exposed himself to her during all this. To talk about doing the deed with her, Dan's a
Okay, now that he looks kind of cute.
showing just how attached she had become to Cole. He would send this link to her and they would talk miscellaneously for the next few months, including him talking about an idea involving paying for things with her mom. She would show her discomfort to him as he kept going on about it. He'd say he challenged 3,000 furries monthly to her, and then when she asked if he could get her some drugs, he, as expected, doesn't shut down the conversation and instead tells her to contact her to speak about what emotions and saying that it wasn't because she was in the flash her first, saying no, actually he's a teleophile instead to defend himself, asked what crime he was being accused of while also stating that a California police officer saw the logs and said he was gun legally, and then uses some sort of rule to say it was all good because she's half his age plus 7 years. However, if you notice, he uses their very ages to apply this logic, so either he was just trying to end everything over to keep the conversation in 2022, he would hit up someone on Twitter asking him for advice to understand what he did was wrong. This led to an insanely long exchange between the two, including lines from Court about how his parents were reading the very messages themselves despite being a 35-year-old grown-ass man at that point in time. Yeah, it was technically illegal for him to stay home on the mentions his 10-year age gap formula that he came up with to carry himself throughout life that he became known for talking about. So Chad would rage at him for the sheer insanity of the situation at hand with seeing his parents are involved, or to mention that he's still friends with her even to today, and again talk about his kids and wanting to use this as a blessing for them in the future. There is more to this exchange, but it's mostly just raging and stuff we already know, and this only showed how into now he was of what he did to her by still bringing up law's defense when this is clearly a moral situation that he does not understand whatsoever. More people come out talking about their experiences with him, all which are being young teenagers, such as hanging around a group of them in furry cars, talking to someone he met on YouTube when they were around 12 years old and had hindsight. Even another first stage
Yeah, dude. Wait, what?
someone would even say that he was hanging around them when they were 16, would even show a handful of screenshots of the video, adding a lot of credibility to their claims about the man, or would even participate in a dance competition hosted by two teenagers. Some people come to cutie farms and say they met him when they were 15, and another said he used to look at Skype chat and add people as friends through it, adding yet even more teenagers to the community.
If anyone who filled in my hit list,
Asked about his opinion on age of consent in April 2022, this is what he had to say.
this is not the thing that I'm doing now. The thing that I'll do for Counter-Strike, I won't do for any of my Blinky ones. I had them strawberry candy things. I got them strawberry candy things. They make me feel euphoric, honestly. Kind of remind me of Sprout. Dude, I have like a lot of boo-boos in my like lips.
Distracted on the phone and left the other in the stroller all alone in the play area. That kid would eventually start crying, and it took him a couple minutes to notice before he gave him a bottle and walked away again. He changed the kids after she reminded him that he never even fed the one in the stroller during the entire 6.5-hour stay. He would imply that they had financial reasons to lie about it but fail to back it up with any evidence, saying that everyone's privacy is the biggest priority to him, even though he's gone on record saying that his personal safety and reputation are the most important. So, whatever. Court would say he's only paid a couple hundred on child support in July 2020. More leaks from Deb's Telegram account would show that one of his kids was hospitalized and he never bothered to show up to check him. When questioned about this, he would say he was caught with sleeping word. Then people found out the hospital in question was only 2 miles away, and he truly didn't show up because he didn't feel like it and nothing. Deb would continue to make a lot of serious claims about Cord, like how he left one of their kids in the garage unattended for 4 hours and came home to them in a mess. Claimed that he destroyed her diary to such as their marriage on Robert and stuff he did, and that he was very neglectful of the kids, such as feeding them weird foods like blueberries and whipped cream. Lies that he forced himself upon her. He says that he started doing his own roommate in front of her kids at one point. He is known for feeding his kids weird food, such as putting cheese and tomato sauce in a tortilla and calling it a pizza. Everything else is again very serious stuff that she never elaborates on or provides any evidence to, so it's worth taking that with a grain of salt. Throughout all this, Cord is also very against getting any therapy for himself, arguing with someone in DMs when they recommended it to him. He tries to say that he's extremely good at communicating his emotions while also stating he has a healthy relationship with his family and coworkers. And everyone at this point knows that's just straight up denial or ignorance coming from him. In fact, up to that point, the last time he ever went to therapy was 2 decades ago, and that was because he was now honored by his high school. It's clear he views therapy in a very negative light, and that mentality has led into the way he raises his kids. As one of them has autism, he would get upset whenever Deb would bring him to therapy to help him understand himself better. He would even claim that Deb has Munchausen syndrome by proxy, naming instances of what can be minor mistakes in determining if a child is injured or not, rather than intentionally exaggerating them for the sake of bringing attention to pursuit. Of course, he would also let a straight-up heroin addict live in the house with his kids, with Deb calling the police as soon as she found out Tonka is what can be presumed as a mutual friend of theirs trying to de-escalate things as she writes about him and her kids' safety. She even said that he once left pills on the floor in an attempt to frame her as a bad mother, alongside sending out-of-context pictures of their child's therapist in similar fashion. Deb would also claim that he went to the Further Confusion Convention in 2020 using his kid's birthday and Christmas money. Cord is known for updating his Wikifer page of all the cons he's been to, and at the time there was no instance of the 2020 con being listed. It turns out he was planning for this for a while, as in a group chat he would mention trying to move his fursuit to his father's house and it was the end of the con. He would then post a picture on his Facebook account a few months later confirming so. He even inserted himself into the story about furries who beat up a domestic abuser in the usual attention-seeking nature of the couple known.
Gonna put this on the folder as well.
Do you have your kid is he in your house at the moment?
Oh, come on. Okay. Okay, bro.
Story, and Kalu himself would eventually get exposed by a multitude of people for being a massive creep who preyed on them for his own pleasure in early 2023. That which includes a 17-year-old at one point to the surprise of literally nobody watching this video. Gordon's financial situation wasn't anything better either, as people find out that he was the legal owner of the house with Deb, and that after divorce she had to move to San Diego and failed to get him evicted because it was his name on the deed and not hers, causing her to file for bankruptcy in the process, among other things. When questioned about his pay, Gordon said that he makes $5,200 a month before taxes. So they started doing some hard digging. Cordes said that he worked on luxury cars before, and people would eventually find out it was a Tesla factory in California after he was on Kiwi Farms using the company's Wi-Fi to argue. Gordon would say that he was a forklift operator, and after doing the proper research and math, they would find out he's making $500 less than what he said. Given his lying and hypocritical nature, people didn't give him the benefit of the doubt and write it off as a small mistake. That's on top of him also renting out his place and making money doing all that too. Yet during a court hearing on October 28, 2020, it would actually get canceled because he apparently was unemployed and had no money to pay for child support from the dead himself. After hearing all this, Kiwi Farms users were figure out the truth. Soon after Deb moved out of the house, he tried to get roommates to know that he had some money. What is funny is that he was trying to convince anyone that he was not going to make enough money for the place. At night, he would be sober while he was leaving, meaning at this time he was struggling for quite a bit. He would get his job at the Tesla factory on December 2nd, start living at his dad's place, rented out his house already within that very week. On February 23rd, 2020, he'd ask his his house. And on March 25th, he would complain about people not co-signing on his property, which if you ask me, was a very smart choice they made. He would also try to commission artwork for his furry character despite being broke and struggling with money the very next day too, which doesn't really line up with him being supposedly broke during this time. Cord would end up getting furloughed from Tesla on April 1st, and an article a week later stating exactly that would come out adding credibility to his post. However, he would end up getting his job back just a month later on May 12th, and on October 9th he would make a post saying he's working 58 hours a week, meaning he's making decent money by this point. The court hearing of course would be cancelled on October 28th because he said he was broke. Deb would speculate that he's lying to the judge, And then just a few days later, on November 3rd, he would say he's about to work a 66-hour work week soon. On November 19th, he would claim to be working a 70-hour work week and that he's apparently paid $15K in legal fees so far. And in January 2021, would start to post on Twitter asking people if they can make him a VR chat avatar for him, as well as asking for what VR headset he should buy. He would even make a post just 2 months later that implies a regretful purchase based off the warden alone, which, as you can imagine, only infuriated Deb even more as he avoided paying child support and was instead buying whatever the hell he felt like. Cord would end up selling the house in California on October 7th later that year, and Deb would make a post saying she got half the profit, so at least she ended up getting some of the money off his name, I suppose. There was also this instance on April 10th, 2022, when he got into a spat with a random Twitter user, and while most of it is stuff we already know already, there are a few things worth noting. He goes on his typical rant about how everyone is out to get him for no reason according to his skewed viewpoint. Bring up Coyote Lovely after it started becoming a known thing that he was living with zoophile and predator Callow at the time. Show that he talks to other zoophiles to try and get dirt on Coyote because he hates him that much. And that it's the newer generation trying to take him down and the typical lack of self-awareness that we become accustomed to seeing from this man. There's also this entire section dedicated to proving that it was Cord on Kiwi Farms after they found out he was lying to the judge about his internet presence, which, to sum it up shortly, does its job and then some for good measure. It's very easy to see here that Cord is quite the individual to both outsiders and within the furry fandom itself, and even though he seemed to always peer his head around every corner, his reputation wasn't great, unlike how he tries to paint it to everyone who speaks to him. As his name started to become more and more known within general internet circles, there would be more people that look into him and his entire mess, and in doing so would find out even more unknown information about the man, this time including evidence that would not bode well with the furry fandom. Now, Cord has gone on record saying that he was banned from a handful of group chats when he first started posting on Kiwi Farms, and even at one point admitted to sending 40 people the same copy-pasted message about his marriage being open now and ready for cuddles, getting banned from even more chats in the process. Someone from the Stockton Furs Telegram chat even corroborated this, saying that he was just really weird and sent out a mass message to people just like what he admitted earlier, before banning him from the constant complaints and general creepiness the guy gave off. He's even talked about this before in other chats, saying that it's the other people causing issues, failing to realize how creepy he is, and again showing off the lack of self-awareness he has. He would get banned from the Bay Area furry jobs chat after people were made aware of his creepiness and the current drama surrounding his name, arguing about it in his own chat and editing the messages in the process to try and change his argument and set himself up in a more sympathetic light. On August 9th, 2021, Cord would get banned from the NSFW Bay Furs chat for reasons we'll get into shortly, and the same would happen a few weeks later on the 25th in the Bay Area housing chat. On September 4th, he would get banned after joining the Bay Area's Furball chat for impeding on the admin's personal boundaries, and likely because of other reasons as well. People started to become more vocal about their disdain for him, as someone would be added to a chat and immediately start to talk shit to him once they noticed he was there before leaving shortly after. He would actually respond to this little situation, blowing it off as people just starting drama for no reason and whatnot as he tried to move on from things. He would get banned from the unofficial chat of the Further Confusion Convention on January 3rd, 2022, with people talking about him after they were made aware of how weird he is. Cord would get instantly banned from a furry dating group on January 12th after someone recognized him and dropped his Kiwi Farms thread for others to see for themselves, and then got banned from the Rochester Furs chat for what he said was no reason at all when talking about him on Twitter, only being in there for a total of 2 days as people looked into that further. It turns out they banned him under the suspicion of DMing a minor, and knowing about his past they wanted nothing to do with him and promptly blocked him and kicked him out. He seems to have this habit of interacting with minors as we talked about prior, so to see a bunch of chats and even adults know about him means that word is getting around and his internet antics and whatever he gets himself into. Cord has even proudly shown off his spammy nature on Twitter before when shown his Skype chat logs at one point in time back in 2014. What makes this screenshot so interesting is that there's a certain person just below the message he has highlighted, and some former viewers on the channel may recognize this as Foxler, a Nazi furry who's part of the alt-furry side of the fandom, the Furry Raiders group. He's claimed to have known Foxler since 2010 after mass DMing a bunch of people who had Skype accounts on Fur Affinity. He's even known another person from the alt-furry side named Canine Lupine since 2010, has publicly spoken and mentioned him on Twitter a few times before, and even bragged about how all his roommates out of FurryCon in 2015 happened to be Furry Raiders. There was even a podcast together on October 25th, 2017, and while most of it is nothing important, there are a few interesting quotes, like Cord admitting he knew Foxler before he was famous, having one of his kids around Foxler at a FurryCon, and Foxler being anti-Semitic.
You and oh boy, Foxler, I've known you for before you were famous, let's just say.
Well, unless people went to that one con, how could it affect anybody? Like,
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I went to BLFC. That was interesting. That's where I met Cord again. Just like randomly, I'm just walking there, and then he's like with his stroller and then kid. I'm just like, oh, when did this happen?
December 30th, just for the record, December 30th.
That's right.
It's not when it happened or when.
And then, like, actually right before I had him take a picture with my baby, He said that someone said "F you" at the elevator, and I was like, wow. And you would say you have absolutely full respect for the family and relatives and survivors of the Holocaust and suffering that they've been through.
I would. My knowledge is limited to that. I don't know how to be put in a position like that.
Well, at least you're honest. It's good you're honest, you know? That's all people could really ask of you.
This wouldn't go down very well for him, judging by the dislikes. And word would spread around even to his For Affinity page as people would argue with him about why he would ever invite Foxler into his podcast. Of course, Cord's affiliation with the Furry Raiders would go deeper as he would appear in another podcast by them on October 13, 2018, this time with another member named Avaria. This one is even more uneventful than the last and is mostly just miscellaneous stuff, save for one part, and that's when Cord said this right here.
Oh gosh, someone said a naughty question. I'm not gonna read that. I'm trying to keep, my baby's right next to me, so I want to try to keep it nice and, I was about to say PC, but nice and,
Oh joy, why would you ask this?
He would eventually end up on a block list on Twitter 2 years later as more and more people learned of his close ties with this group of people. In 2020, a massive leak of Telegram chats would come out proving Cord's affiliation with these people some more alongside some other stuff. The first chat would be PMF Furries, a group Cord made after he started getting banned from those Californian chats we mentioned earlier, in which he would talk about how two members were exposed for affiliating themselves with the alt furries and being conflicted on what to do with them, ultimately not banning them despite the obvious message that was sent to outsiders. He would roleplay with the VR in the chat at one point in time, and later on they would talk about RC Fox and mention he was their best friend in a somber tone despite the guy being a pedo who game ended before heading to jail. Any Lukai would even get invited to the chat at one point in early 2022, again showing how deep Cord runs with these alt furry groups. Old School Furries would be the next chat, with Cord joining it on November 14th, 2020 after seeing most of them are around his age. The chat is mostly just boring political ranting and nothing more. Like how he would get blocked trying to debate people about the transgender bathroom issue and some rather expected ranting about how the media controls everything. Of course, it doesn't help that Canine Lupine and another known alt-furry person named Lane Gilbert are present, but this isn't anything new at this point in history, it's just part of the way Cord is. He would end up leaving sometime in February 2022 after getting called out on Twitter. Yet on March 3rd, he would join and leave almost instantly in what can be assumed as accidentally rejoining after watching the chat for some reason. He's also seen in a dissident Furs chat run by Len Gilbert, which only these two posts came out of it as it's hidden behind a join wall and hard to get into unless you know someone. The Terrible to Box chat is basically the same stuff we've seen already, just in another chat with a handful more alt-furries, and the only new thing here is him complaining about Kiwi Farms and how they keep getting him banned from other chats as people learn more about him and his personal ties. Also, more confirmation of his ties with Canine Lupine in February 2022, but this is news at this point, so there's no need to stress it that much. He would also join the free-for-all unofficial chat as well, but leave rather soon as people kept spreading the news about him everywhere, only to join back 10 days later after supposedly doing whatever he needed to. Now, despite this almost decade's worth of known creepy behavior involving anyone he could talk to, grooming a minor 10 years younger than him, and the multitude of miscellaneous dangerous positions he put his own kids through, it was his politics and ties to the alt-furries that led to any controversy from within the furry fandom, as the Twitter account will compile all this info in a thread and post on January 26, 2022 for everyone to see. This will cause people to find a 3-year-old thread going over what we mostly know already, but did include some new stuff like him going off on Facebook about more heavy political things that would most certainly cause some controversy on that side of the internet. With this newfound infamy, people started to try to some more, eventually getting into yet another Telegram group chat. People find a post from earlier that month complaining about people spreading this info about him around despite this being warranted and based in reality. And even some other miscellaneous stuff like putting BLM in his bio because a random person happened to go to a furry con and he liked their YouTube video. They would even find out that earlier that month he joined a chat called Exposing Furs, complaining about how people are lying about him and whatnot to the people who are willing to listen to him, only for them to find out his interest in feral art and getting blocked after calling him out on his act. He would try to say that he can't possibly be racist because his second great-grandfather was black and
Yeah, YouTube. I know. Oh no, this is Russian. Oh, okay. I'm missing. Guys, I'm not finishing this, bro.
Try to point out that he's part Jewish, so he can't be anti-Semitic either, despite hanging around the alt furries for so long. Would have begun to argue with a lot of people on Twitter, so many would completely drown out this part of the video.
Estoy muy rayada.
Tía, alegra esa cara, por favor.
Esto te lo arreglo yo rápido, Cari.
A couple highlights include trying to downplay him hanging around the alt furries as nothing more than joining the chat and trying to equate the hatred against him as high school drama. Trying to get on the good side of a group of people that clearly dislike him. Saying that people are defaming him to someone who just learned about him and his actions. Trying to guilt trip someone who banned him from their chat and saying he's done nothing wrong. Lies about not knowing who RC Fox is because he knows it makes him look bad. And even joining groups outside the US to try and escape the ridicule he's been getting. More people come out about Cord and how he constantly tries to talk to them despite being teenagers of varying ages going about. And one person would even post screenshots having to do with this showing they met up together as well. People find another art piece of him and his child together, and to put it lightly, his reputation was officially in the gutter and then some. Despite the literally decades worth of info about him making its way to the mainstream public, he would somehow end up on a finalist list for the dance competition at the BLFC 2022 Furry Convention. Someone would organize a walkout protest because of this, and it would come out he was also lurking around a 12-year-old at a furry convention a few years back to the surprise of nobody. Someone would even claim that they had to stop bringing their service dog to cons because Cord would constantly harass him, and he would try to argue with the one person spreading the news around to no avail as it was far too late to save his reputation. In an actually surprising moment, Cord would be mass booed throughout the entire duration of his dance act when that time came, with viewers of the livestream able to hear them despite the music playing.
Next dancer is Cord Kitty! Cord Kitty!
Making this entire escapade a waste of his time alongside ruining his reputation some more. On July 20th, 2022, Cord would get caught talking with Growly once again in a group chat planning a movie meetup, so people start to berate him more for being so stupid and insane for hanging around a known pedo, with Cord saying that the meets are just so important to him and provide solace in his life, much to the shock of the viewers reading the chat that very moment. He would say that he actually never met up with him, people post proof of that happening, and he would then try to shift the tone and say it was just a copy-pasted message as nobody was falling for his lies. He would then try to pass things off as a joke, but then left the chat as nobody was falling for nothing and he realized he couldn't keep lying his way out of this mess he created for himself. Cord would also end up flirting with none other than hypnotist Sappho sometime in September 2022, with her first season in a chat she owned. She would then drop the screenshots, showing him flirting with her, talking about movies and role-playing together, and straight up saying that he loves her as she reciprocates back. Sappho and Cord would continue to miscellaneously flirt with each other, but things would go south once Cord found out she was transgender and states he can't do a relationship now. Mind you, not because she's a pedo zoophile predator groomer, but because she was trans. He would then wipe the chat clean in expected fashion. Sappho would brag about screenshotting everything, and Cord would try to shift things by saying it was all just one big gay up he was trying to run, and he definitely wasn't falling for one of the most heinous people that I've ever covered on my YouTube channel. On December 10th, Cord would appear in an interview on YouTube, an interview that has unfortunately been lost to time due to the user deleting their channel. Luckily, after reaching out to certain people, they helped me find a few clips of it, and let's just say that the interview is surely something to behold. It turns out that the 17-year-old Cord groomed back on Facebook years ago joined the interview to set the record straight, telling Cord himself that what he did was wrong and they were sick of him trying to downplay everything.
There is no way that you can sit there and say that these chat logs have been edited. There's no way. I at the end of the day, yes, I was the legal age of consent for New York, which is 17, yes. But at the end of the day, I was not 18. And at the end of the day, I was going through a lot of trauma, and you knew that. The stuff that you were talking about in those logs, you should not be saying that anybody that's 17 or under the age of 18 at all, especially given the age gap between us. But for you to sit there and say that those chat logs are edited and people are saying things about you that are not true, I don't know about the other allegations, but as far as the allegation concerning me and those chat logs, those are very real.
They will keep going on about how Cord always shifts the blame onto others instead of accepting he's the problem before the clip ends.
But what I did not like is that with certain situations that you were bringing up, or people were, you know, asking you the right questions of why this was happening, or why did you say this a certain way, to get the context, that instead of you really just saying, hey, listen, I messed up, whatever, you shifted a lot of blame. I'm not saying that I'm not gonna say me at 17, you're right, that's the legal age of consent, but I'm not gonna sit there and say that I was some higher party. At the end of the day, I was a kid, I was a teenager, you were an adult. There's no way in the sense of form that you could have sat there and said that, oh, what I'm doing is cool.
The next clip has Cord responding saying that they weren't a victim of real grooming, spitting in their face right at them.
Yes. But I want to say something else. This is belittling real victims of child grooming and real victims of child grooming. There's something terrifying about real groomers, and I've had the opportunity to sack one of the staff members of Anthrocon because I forwarded real child grooming evidence to no, it was someone else, but
okay.
Grizzly the Medic. I just want to say conversations like this belittle real victims of child grooming. Leon, you're not in any way a victim of child grooming, and that's disgusting.
May I respond?
You want to abuse it. You want to abuse that
May I
word.
respond?
It's horrific. You are belittling every single victim of child.
Cord then tries to bring up the fact they were a former drug dealer at Epically Onum, in which they would reply they only sold to those their age and had to do in order to make ends meet given their living situation before that clip ends.
Dealt drugs to children. You have no moral hierarchy above me, okay? You have no moral hierarchy above me when you deal drugs to children. You understand that?
¿Sabes lo cerca que está el verano? Tan cerca como los puertos de Barcelona o Valencia, como el mar cuando te despiertas, tan cerca como Roma, Nápoles, Malta, tan cerca como nosotros, para cuidar de tus vacaciones y convertirlas en las mejores de tu vida. Con máxima flexibilidad, tu verano aún más cerca. MSC Cruceros, Best Holiday Ever.
Nescafé Latte, elaborado con leche fresca y delicioso café. Ingredientes 100% naturales.
Civility. I just want to make sure you understand. That's it.
I'm not going to lie, in high school, I was homeless in a shelter with my family, and I needed to make extra money. That's the bottom line. My mom knew nothing of what I was doing. I didn't sell hardcore drugs. I did sell weed, and I will admit to that. But I also was the same age of the people I was selling to. That doesn't make it okay.
The last clip has them talking to Cord about their Facebook DMs and asking if they ever thought they were creepy in hindsight, in which he says no.
If you decided to look back at the log and you saw the conversation we were having and how to not mess up with the stream or any monetization, how spicy the chat was, is it not creepy? Can you at least say that?
In my personal opinion, it was not creepy. And
okay.
I mean, but the reason being is because it was two parties looking towards the same goal, and that goal is to figure out what do we want in life. It's really simple as that. And I didn't know what you wanted, and the only reason I asked you the questions was to figure out what did you want.
Cord would then be asked if he believes what he did was morally incorrect, and this is what he had to say about it, including some very suspect stuff about why he didn't follow through with his intentions as the clip ends.
Even if the age of consent is there, morally, is that not wrong to you? Like, morally?
Not at all. I think societally, yes, it is wrong. Like, societally, right now, there is obviously different. Like, I think there was this old French book made in the early 20th century that had this rule that was basically, what's the perfect age to marry a bride? And it's this age. And then suddenly that got transformed to, this is the minimum age that you're allowed to, flirt with someone or to date. So it changed over time. So society changed over time, and sensibilities did. And I mean, honestly, like, I kind of want to move forward from it because I didn't know about that whole age difference rule. I didn't. My only goal, and my personal moral code is you need to judge someone by their intention. And my intention from the beginning was to ask questions to figure out what you wanted and to help you get what you wanted. And that's the big reason why we did not do anything sexual at all, is because you didn't want that. Even though you said you wanted it online, in person you said you didn't, and that's good. My only goal was to find out what you wanted and help you get it, and that's it. You know, I mean, literally, I used to make chat rooms with like 20, 30 people just to try to get one person a date, because I wanted to help them, because I only want to help other people. That's literally my goal.
They would also come out and say that Cord allegedly made them show themselves to him alongside groping him, and that they had to get a friend and pretend to be their mother in order to get themselves out of the situation. Instead of denying the allegation like he usually does, he would instead try to downplay and say that they were a slut to shift the blame some more because that's all he does, notably ending his rant off saying he's proud of what he did and always will be. He would then admit to deleting messages constantly so people don't catch him incriminating himself, but we all know how that's been going for him so far throughout this video. Poor Kitty at first was just another typical lolcow, one with a very interesting renting situation and issues with keeping his fursuit clean. Going down this rabbit hole, however, led us to discovering one of the more despicable people on the internet and then some. What started off as just a really annoying person ended up being one of the more egregious examples of what not to become as you grow up in life. The people that Cord surrounds himself with are some of the worst out there, and whenever people question him about his affiliations, he would downplay or deny them entirely because he can't fathom the possibility that he might be the bad guy or part of the problem. That's not to mention the danger he puts his own children in due to his lack of self-awareness and genuine lack of care as well, and of course telling his grooming victim to their face that he never did anything bad to them. After going through all of this, it's absolutely mind-blowing that he still believes he's not the bad guy at all, but I can't say I'm surprised at this point. The subplots of this story, like with Deb and Kelly, give everything that extra flavor, and I'm willing to bet there are other stories out there that haven't made its way to the public yet for one reason or another. I have not a single clue what's going to come next in this story, because while it seems that most of it has been told already, there's still some parts we have no answers to just yet. Will he win his court case against Deb? Probably not. Will he stop associating with Growly? Probably not. Will he ever accept that he's part of the problem and take the L for once in his life? That's an easy no, but hey, maybe someday someone will finally be able to get that through to him, but that's just wishful thinking at this point. The story of Cord Kitty may seem to be in the second half of its lifespan, but until then we just gotta wait and see for what the future holds, and if you ask me, I'm very interested to see what happens next.
Aprovecha ya Prime Day de Amazon. Celébralo por todo lo alto, ahorrando a lo grande en electrónica, hogar, cocina y mucho más. Exclusivamente para clientes Prime. Descubre las ofertas ahora.
Ahora, cuando sientas ese loop, también sentirás un uff. Con la nueva Evax Cotton Light, se acerca más a tu cuerpo para absorber más rápido el flujo repentino y evitar fugas. Protege tu flow. Nueva Evax Cotton Light. Mejor que nunca.
Friday Night Funkin' is a very popular game akin to Dance Dance Revolution, and a game that has a massive child fanbase due to its appealing nature. Of course, with this child fanbase, along comes the content creators that make videos for them to enjoy, and unfortunately today, some of these content creators got a couple of dark secrets tucked away behind the scenes. These skeletons in the closet will be revealed in due time, so let's see what a couple of these content creators have gotten themselves into in the Friday Night Funkin' community. Shannon Sunday is a YouTuber best known for making animation videos related to Friday Night Funkin', with his most popular one sitting at a cool 13 million views. They were extremely popular in the Friday Night Funkin' community, but behind the scenes there was a bit more going on with them. To make it as blunt as I can, a Google document was released on July 15th, 2021, going over how Shannon was with someone when they were 17 or 18, and the other person was 12 to 13 years old. The document goes right into showing that Shannon sent a certain kind of website link to the 12-year-old when he was 17, along with him admitting to encounters with an ex of his who was still 13 at the time, saying stuff like how he's sleeping with them and how he misses them and such. More screenshots show Shannon acting some type of way and talking about the minor in a very strange manner, but they would eventually break up, causing Shannon to go a bit crazy in their DMs, practically begging for them to stay with him and whatnot. His ex would claim that what had gone on between the two of them wasn't platonic, and Shannon would try to guilt trip his way back into the friend group, at one point making a sort of tribute video of his and his ex's relationship. The rest of the document would be stories from old friends of his with no evidence to back up their claims, but then some future updates will come out to flesh things out a little bit more for everybody. After the document came out, Shannon would message the writer on Discord, going over how they've been making themselves a better person and whatnot since everything went down. Sounds all good, right? Someone getting the help they need. Unfortunately for that, along with this message would also be new evidence showing 2 pictures Shannon sent at one point. One with some very nasty stuff going down in a drawing between a person and a rabbit, and another of Shannon and the 13-year-old he was with. Given this new information, whether Shannon is getting the proper help or not is up to interpretation. The Shannon Sunday story is pretty cut and dry. It's clear that Shannon was trying to date someone 5 years younger than them, along with sending them links to certain websites, and given this is a massive age gap between someone who's almost out of high school and someone who might not even be in high school yet, it was no surprise that once everything was published, people wanted nothing to do with them anymore. Shannon took a few months hiatus from his YouTube channel after the news broke, and has recently gotten back into video creation, so at this point it's up to the public to make their minds up on whether they want him back or not. While this is nowhere near the biggest story of this video, it still gives you a hint of what's to come, as for whatever reason, the Friday Night Funkin' community really has a lot of bad apples trying to ruin the bunch, with some of those bad apples being talented as well, only making their inevitable downfall just that much more painful to watch.
Davante da FP Master, la mejor FP con diferencia. Davante, número 1 en formación para el empleo.
Tías, estoy muy rayada.
Venga, vamos a sacarnos una foto.
Tía, alegra esa cara, por favor.
Esto te lo arreglo yo rápido, Cari.
The Maze was a Friday Night Funkin' modder, best known for his mod Sunday Night Suicide, which is a parody based off the Suicide Mouse creepypasta. That mod would be the main thing bringing attention to his name, along with making mashup videos for people to join on YouTube, and so he would start to gain a notable amount of attention towards his channel during 2021. He even started to work on a mod featuring his own custom character Kai, with a GoFundMe to find voice actors to boot. Nothing strange was going on at all, and people were happy to see a hard worker in the community finally getting the attention he deserves, but then some issues would start to peer its head around the corner. What started as small little things quickly built up into stuff that is much more serious. Sometime in fall 2021, Maze would post a slightly risque picture of Kai and says that he was getting backlash for how it looked, as some people thought it was a child. He explains that Kai is a 23-year-old and not a child like some people have been saying, and so he asks people for their opinions. To me, it looks more like a situation where the art style doesn't represent the character's age very well. It's something that's happened before with art and in the art community, and so with this information at the time, I brushed it off as nothing more but a misunderstanding at the very worst. Maze would also have issues getting banned over and over on TikTok for whatever reason, but that was as far as it went. Maze would find out about the creator of another popular creepypasta, Sonic.exe, was outed for talking to kids, so to say, and so would make a post exclaiming his discomfort as he was a huge fan of the story and how it influenced his childhood. He would end things off saying there wasn't any reason to hate the story, but only really the person, and so he was kinda cool after that. It was more of an emotional, on the whim kind of post, but gave a bit of insight on how he could be very reactionary at times. Maze would make a post how he saw Lil Nas X's boyfriend apparently cheated on him, and started to plan a tribute song for Lil Nas X in Friday Night Funkin'. This post reeked of those really cringe terminally online messages that you come across sometimes on the internet, so while not bad in of itself, it was very weird to look at. He would make another post about how people were bashing him for the original, going on a tangent about how his mod is now cancelled, and that if people keep messing with him, he would erase all mods from the internet and take down anything related to him. A leaked DM would show that this was some convoluted plot to get all the haters in trouble, as if he took his stuff down, other people would start to go after them, and so he would make a long-winded post basically saying that he acted out of immaturity and that he was sorry for trying to get other people harassed. This whole incident would also cause the voice actors for the Kai mod to leave, and so things were left off in a pretty weird spot. It was clear that Maze let his emotions get the best of him, as his plans to epically own all the haters only showed people how reactionary he could be, and in this case it was so bad for him that he lost 2 integral people to his work. Maze would update his mod with a new phase called Really Happy, which had a lot of shakiness going on, so much in fact that it caused somebody to have a seizure. Now normally when a developer is made aware of this, they would apologize and instantly add a warning for those who plan on playing the mod or change it entirely. Maze would instead go on a rant about how he purposefully meant to make the game feel uncomfortable and that he had no intentions to trigger anything. He would end the post off by saying, "So thank you for telling me I did my job well," rather than make the proper warning for the downloaders, and instead just came off as an asshole to those who were actually worried about the issues the mod could cause. He would eventually add a seizure warning after constant pressure from people, and make a post about how he can be immature at times, and rant about how he's only 18, how he isn't perfect and all that. While it's true that he is young, this post came off as downplaying stuff as, "I'm just immature," rather than understanding the reality of the situation. All Maze had to do was apologize and add a seizure warning or take it out of the game, but instead he turns it into a thing about how haters are trying to bring him down, and whenever proper criticism is made, he says he's immature and he's sorry. It's quite strange to see someone act this way on multiple occasions, and while the situations aren't massive things thus far, it does show people how Maze gets reactionary extremely quickly before backpedaling after he realizes his initial reaction was a mistake. Maze would run into another issue after he ran sponsorships for an NFT company called Vive. He would quickly apologize for this, but quite possibly the weirdest way I've ever seen an apology on the internet, through a Family Guy meme.
You know what really grinds my gears? You Vive. Fuck you! Fellows from Mead Capital, let me get you up to speed. Not too long ago, a company called Vive offered to sponsor me. That made the ads for them promoting their business. I'm known the dark truth. Vive is an NFT company. Oh my god!
Oh my god! Smack my ass like the drum!
Wait, okay. I'm gonna finish the Vive video and then I'll take away my extreme mess. The collectibles aren't even real. They just sit on your phone. I mean, what's even the point of that? I mean, look how much they're charging for the Ghostbusters logo. What would you even do with that? I deeply apologize for nearly scamming you all. One last thing, I'm not trying to start a war with Vive or anything. That's simply another my sponsor. And after this, I want nothing to do with Vive. Good riddance to bad rubbish. Thank you all for watching this video. And if Vive comes and asks for a sponsor, you know what to tell them.
Like, I'm happy he apologized for sponsoring an NFT company, but with the Family Guy meme, like, seriously? It came off as super tone deaf and off-putting, and it made the apology seem like a giant joke to those watching. It was just really weird and jarring, and while not bad like the other controversies, was still yet another blow to his already shaky credibility. With that being said, all these controversies could be written off as small issues from somebody who reacts poorly to things, and so while worth talking about, was nothing inherently awful. What transpires next, though, would change that sentiment for the rest of May's career. On January 2nd, 2022,
Nuevo Body Lotion. El fotoprotector de textura ligera que protege tu piel del daño oxidativo. Más fácil, más cómodo, más agradable. Nuevo Isdin Body Lotion. Cuando cocinas con arte, cada receta se vuelve una obra maestra. Ahora Bimbo rebanada estilo artesano es Bimbo Artesencia. El pan hecho arte.
Twitter user Bandis Warehouse would post a Google document exposing Maze and the actions on his Discord server. One of the chats that Maze had was called the Chonk Chat, in which Maze and others would post fetishy fat artwork with no form of age verification needed to join the chat, only a simple reaction role instead. There was also a whole other Discord server named the Chonk Chat dedicated to talking about these interests, with people under the age of 18 talking in said server. Maze roleplaying was one of them at one point, and even a chat dedicated to talking about weight gain interests. It gets worse though, as it would come out that Maze, who was 18 at the time, was trying to convince a 15-year-old to leave their boyfriend to date him, and even manipulated her into giving him certain pictures and other favors. The boyfriend would make his own posts after finding this out, and even confronted Maze about everything, in which the conversation didn't really lead anywhere. The girl herself would say that yeah, he was taking advantage of her for his own gratification, confirming what we already knew. Maze would actually confront the person who wrote the Google Doc, with the conversation not really leading anywhere other than Maze trying to shift the blame onto them for exposing the chats to the public. Along with this, there would be claims of him not properly crediting artists that worked for him, but everything else was much worse in the bigger focus. This was extremely bad to look at because anybody of any age could just get into these servers, and given the subject matter, it was beyond disturbing, and that's not even mentioning the manipulation he did to the girl as well. After the Google document came out, Crit, a voice actor for the Kai mod, would come out about their own experience with Maze, adding more fuel to the fire. They would talk with each other about his reaction to the haters during the really happy situation, how it was really poor and whatnot, and then he would say that the people were trying to frame him for attempted murder because of the mod. They argue back and forth about how he had no evidence for that claim, and then the proof that Maze shows has nothing to do with the attempted murder claim, and that Crit started to feel Maze was just trying to argue for the sake of it. Things would end off with a string of posts of Maze stating that he was sorry for how he was acting and whatnot, very similar to what he had done before after every other controversy, and so Crit would stop speaking to him after he tried to pull this stunt off on him once more.
Maze would make a Reddit post going over a couple of the allegations and stuff that really doesn't debunk anything against him. He says that the person he roleplayed with was an adult, but doesn't prove it. He shows the messages with the 15-year-old girl basically saying that they aren't friends anymore after she exposed him. It doesn't go into anything about how he tried to use it for his gratification. His response to not crediting artists was that he didn't credit them yet because he didn't add the character in the game yet, and showed his frustration for leaking Phase 4 in his mod. The Chonk chat was apparently made for good intentions too, so that he could make the FNF fandom a bit more kink friendly. Nothing like at all really made any sense here. No detail into the 15-year-old stuff. More mad about Phase 4 being leaked than the actual claim against him, and trying to say that he was doing a good thing by making the Friday Night Funkin' fandom more kink friendly, a fandom predominantly made up of children. It screamed tone deaf, and so Maze would go on to make a YouTube video to defend himself later on. The video proves that the roleplay was with an adult, thankfully, but the rest of it was basically the Reddit post but in video format. He admits that the way to get into the NSFW stuff in the server was literally through a role and nothing more, which is extremely reckless as kids can just lie about their age. This whole situation is very bizarre, as it's clear that almost everything save for the 15-year-old situation comes down to extreme recklessness. You don't let people into an NSFW channel with just a role. The reaction to Phase 4 being leaked rather than the artist credit being the main issue was tone deaf, and going off about the haters during the Lil Nas X and Really Happy mod stuff was simply just wrong. Even with the 15-year-old thing, there was no hard evidence from either side, so that could come down to whatever you want to believe too, but it's still bad nonetheless. It's very clear by now that Maze is a reactionary person, and said reactions led him making poor initial statements, which only make him look worse. After some time had passed though, he'd make his own Google document about everything that had gone down for those keeping up with him. He admits he could have done a better job with the Chonk chat, and that the whole thing about making the FNF fandom more kink friendly was him trying to get people to not get harassed for their preferences, but given that there are so many better ways to do that, it just came off as really stupid. The stuff with the 15-year-old girl was him basically trying to assume her reaction after confronting her, and deadass didn't lead to anything other than showing people he doesn't understand the gravity of his actions. He talks about the really happy stuff again, but explains that he wasn't trying to hurt people, which everyone already knew. He again misunderstands the point that it was his initial reaction of being cocky about it, rather than admitting he messed up by not adding a seizure warning, and again, whether intentionally or not, shows everyone that he doesn't understand what people are trying to convey to him. It didn't really add anything new and only solidified to others that Maze struggles to understand the main issue people have with him, and instead gets caught up in his head with what he thinks people are mad at him for. Of course, things wouldn't end smoothly for him, as leaked DMs dated February 2nd, 2022 show Maze role-playing and talking with another 15-year-old, showing that he'll just repeat his behavior like he did with the first girl. He would then quit the Friday Night Funkin' fandom after people found out about this, only to rejoin soon after once he calmed down from his initial reaction, so nothing really happened here at all. On May 15th, Maze and another person named Zadak would expose Bluebell, another voice actor that was part of the Kai mod, and go into detail on that.
Aprovecha ya Prime Day de Amazon. Descubre las ofertas ahora.
Zadak goes on about how Blue would draw suggestive drawings of characters that are minors and show proof of that, then also claims that Blue gaslights people but provides no evidence, so that didn't really go anywhere. Maze will start to go on about his experience with Blue, and the experience has no evidence whatsoever, so there's literally no point in me going over this. TLDR, Blue apparently did a shit job at moderation in her Discord server, and Maze helped fix an issue she was ignoring. Again, no evidence to this whatsoever, so take it however you feel. Maze would also get upset that Toastify, the YouTuber who initially covered his allegations back in January 2022, and so Toastify would respond in part of a video.
Yes, they are weak. You had nothing to back up your claims. You don't specify how you originally talked to Blue, and considering how you mentioned straight after that you were dragged into a call, it's reasonable to assume it was over DMs. Where is your proof? Even when it came to flimsy claims such as the 15-year-old on the original document, there were at least DMs of other people talking about the event happening. Here, there is nothing at all, and to act surprised when someone calls a claim backed up by no screenshots weak, it's just idiotic.
Yeah, Maze didn't really do anything here. Zadak was the only person who made any solid claim against Blue, and Maze kinda just said stuff with no proof. Sometime in March, leaked DMs would show Maze talking about a certain genre of internet videos with a 14-year-old girl, and so things would quickly ramp up yet again for the disgraced Friday Night Funkin' modder. On March 16th, a former person he dated when he was 17 and they were 14 would come out with a video about their own experience with him. I highly suggest watching the video on your own time, as it really gives a lot of insight on just how messed up he is, such as when he tried inflation roleplay with a 10-year-old, how he would send a bunch of emails to them after they broke up trying to apologize to her, and even pretended to be his own mother to try and get her talking to him again. The stuff he was doing was abhorrent and gave a lot of insight on how far he's willing to do whatever he felt like, even if it meant harming those he was supposed to keep safe. The video would make traction in late April, and so after being made aware of this, Maze would rebrand his channel to Starlight just a few days later, trying to drop the Maze name entirely as it has been officially tainted in his own eyes. Leaked Discord messages would show him trying to pin the blame on another person entirely, saying that they were the ones that sent all those nasty things to the girl and that it wasn't him. Maze didn't take any accountability for what he put her through, and instead tries to pin the blame on his imaginary autistic 12-year-old cousin or whatever the hell. Even with all this going around, nothing was stopping him from trying to keep his internet career moving forward. That is, until a very particular post came out on Twitter. On May 14th, Twitter user Cubic Spindle would make a meme post basically calling his thumbnail funny, a post that got over 65,000 likes within a couple of days. That Twitter post is what caused Maze to finally cave in, as he'd make his own on his YouTube channel, stating that he planned to delete it in the next 12 hours and would go through with it, officially ending the Maze saga once and for all. All it took was a viral Twitter shitpost. That's the story of The Maze, a Friday Night Funkin' content creator who on the surface was just a reactionary person, but below was far worse than people initially imagined. The situation was a very weird one because a lot of how he acts or does things can be written off as his personality traits getting in the way, but when things like multiple instances of talking to underage people come out, along with what he put his ex through, it was clear he was more than just a reactionary person, but someone who really only did things based off his own discretion. The way his channel ended was very unexpected, but at least we can say for now he's officially gone, so go be it. While not the worst case we've seen on this channel, he certainly isn't far from it. With that being said, Maze wasn't the only modder in the Friday Night Funkin' community that got himself into a bit of a mess due to his own antics. Amber Ultra was a Friday Night Funkin' modder popular in the community for his Bob and Bosa mod. He originally started on YouTube making Geometry Dash videos with his characters Bob and Bosa before taking a break in 2019 altogether. He would come back with a vengeance in March 2020 with brand new videos about Friday Night Funkin', featuring an upgraded Bob and Bosa in their very own mod that he made. Thousands of people flocked to his mod as it was nothing ever seen before at the time, and so in his peak he would gain many new subscribers, at one point getting 90,000 subscribers in the month of August 2021 alone. As his success rapidly grew, Amor would post a video promoting an update to his mod, the EX update, gaining over 1 million views within a few months span, and showing everyone that he was a rising star in the Friday Night Funkin' community, and was not planning on slowing down anytime soon. Given this video's very premise, however, it's safe to say those plans got pushed aside for a much bigger issue at hand. At first, it was just people finding out Amor was talking positively to Aether DX, somebody who was already ousted from the community after doing their own deplorable shit, with messages of the two having a normal conversation about their lives and the EX update and whatnot. Listen, it's okay to have a line of communication open with shitty people in case you need evidence or you need some sort of admission from them or something, but to talk to them in a positive way and have it come out later to the public that you were doing so, that gave people a very weird vibe. Nothing inherently bad, but certainly one that made people think a bit more about how Amor is. After the launch of the EX update, it would come out later that Amor pushed the devs to release it that month of December 2021. Not just any sort of push, however, but literally basing the entire launch off a leak of the mod, pushing his devs to overworking themselves so hard that one of them got sick, along with blaming them on any delays, screaming at them, and generally just being an asshole to those working on the update. The mistreatment of his staff was awful to hear about, but not only would he mistreat his staff, he would also mistreat his video editors, going as far to pay someone who worked for hours on a video a whopping total of $40. That's it. If you're gonna hire editors, at least pay them good money and don't rip them off. $40 ain't shit, and to see Amor pay someone so little is kinda shitty to do. Retro Dubs, a voice actor on Twitter, would come out with a post saying that Amor had him and another person in line to voice Bob in the EX update, but due to his poor communication, he dropped out and missed out on an opportunity to take part in a big mod and help his career out. He would end up in a Twitter space with Amor in it, and after noticing him, he would make a few jokes about missing out on voicing Bob, and others started to join in, and so it annoyed him and made him feel insecure about his voice acting work. Retro ends things off by saying he had to get this all off his chest because it affected him so much. These three situations are things that show a fault in character, but things that are forgivable and can be fixed. Amor clearly let his own stress about the EX update being leaked go into the dev group, so next time he can control his emotions before putting them onto others. He should start paying his editors more money now, which is an extremely easy fix altogether, so that one's a no-brainer. With the retro dub situation, it sounded like really bad communication from his part and unnecessarily teasing based off his own mistakes, so next time he should be more cordial and straightforward with who he hires and what his plans are for them. All of these things can be fixed easily with time and effort, so at this point, while still bad to hear about, it wasn't anything worth trying to ruin the guy's career over. That, of course, would obviously change. In late December, Twitter user Colson will post a bunch of screenshots of Amor's NSFW alt account of drawings with a 17-year-old, himself at 18, and Blue Skies at 19, doing the obvious things that will be done on said account. While it's just a 2-year age gap at most between the people that were all consenting in the art that was drawn, it was extremely reckless to draw this to begin with. It's not pedophilic, but you don't draw that kind of stuff even if the ages are close, because it's not a smart thing to do and generally leads down to a bunch of shit flying off the handle. And let me tell you, this shit that flew off the handle after this was certainly something to gaze at. At first, it was a really creepy post showing that Amor drew his character with the girl he liked behind her back, but then it would suddenly ramp up from then on out. A Reddit post would come out of Amor, who was around 16 years old at the time, acting inappropriately with a 14 and 12-year-old, both in a relationship, asking to draw NSFW drawings of their characters together. It was very strange and very questionable to see Amor acting this way, and not only would he do that with them two, but also with two other people, this time both being 13-year-old boys, and pretty much saying the same kind of stuff he did with the last two. The screenshots clearly show him doing what he did with the other two, and shows that Amor has a pattern of behavior acting out this way. Another post will come out with someone saying Amor pressured others into drawing NSFW of them as well and went through with it, so now we're 3 for 3 on that, which is extremely creepy to see coming to fruition. Raku, the 12-year-old involved in the first claim, would come out to give more details on her experience with Amor. She would state that she was 13 instead of 12, and quickly started to talk about how Amor would pressure both her and her boyfriend into drawing NSFW stuff of them, along with him generally just being weird about it and constantly talking about it in public chats they were in. Amor would eventually show Raku part of the art piece he drew, and the conversation got awkward as she clearly says she wished she didn't ask to see it, and would go on to clarify and toward that she regrets supporting his art habit, before ending things off with screenshots of what he drew after she was convinced into making a story about their relationship with her boyfriend. It's all so strange to look at, and while it doesn't give off any malicious vibes, it is certainly creepy and weird to look on it. More screenshots will come out of Amor making an NSFW chat despite him and others in his Discord server being underage, and more posts of people stating that Amor would pressure and influence people to draw NSFW or let him draw NSFW other characters. At one point, he would even try to convince a minor to draw NSFW stuff, and when he was 18, he would ask to see pictures of someone who was 15 years old at the time, even sharing his NSFW Twitter account to them. Amor would start to lose subscribers on his YouTube channel due to all these posts coming out, and so on December 21st, he would put out a message on Twitter stating that he would be getting help for how he's acted and been acting and all that sort of stuff. Y'all have seen this kind of message before from multiple people and whatnot, so no need to go into any explicit detail. Honey Bunny, a friend of Amor's, will leak a message he sent to them on December 27th, stating that he would be getting the proper help and apologize for hurting them and anybody else around him. Ever since then, Amor hasn't posted on his Twitter nor YouTube accounts, and for all intents and purposes is officially gone from the internet. The story of Amor Ultra is a really strange one to look at. It's clear that he wasn't being outright malicious with his goal of making those drawings of people, but he was letting his admiration for that type of artwork affect the way he talked to others, and generally led him down a path of being extremely creepy. Unfortunately for him, that path eventually led him down to sending his NSFW Twitter account to a 15-year-old, but it happened, so it is what it is at this point. While not the worst thing we'll go over in this video, it's certainly not a good thing either, though thankfully it does seem that he's helping himself out in the proper way, and those he affected have moved on from their experience with him and have been doing alright for themselves. With that being said, this story has another part to it, albeit not involving Amor, but someone who worked closely with him. Now here we have Blue Skies, because not only was he involved in a more ultra drama, but he was also involved in his very own a few short months later. To sum up his involvement with the more ultra, after everything went down, he made his own twit longer going over his opinions, defending Amore on a couple of things, as well as himself when getting that artwork with the 17-year-old. It wasn't the most important thing given the attention was all on Amore, and given it was just a 2-year age gap between the three of them in the art, most people wrote it off as very poor judgment, but nothing insidious. Months would go by after the Amore Ultra situation, but then Blue himself would get caught up in his own piece of drama with his career on the line now. On March 12, 2022, Twitter user Siba would write a document going over Blue and his behavior ever since they met him. Siba was the voice actor for Bosip in the Bob and Bosip mod, so they weren't any sort of random person who said some stuff, but someone who worked along with Blue in the making of said mod. The document would first go over the fact that Blue had a folder of over 10 gigabytes of NSFW material, making him out to be some sort of massive creep, that multiple minors were following his NSFW alt Twitter account, and that despite the join with the minor being a mistake, it was still considered CP and obviously illegal, according to Australian and United States law. The next part would be Siba going into their own experience with Blue, as when they were 17 and Blue was 18, they were drunk, and when they started to hit on Blue, he kept going along with it despite the obvious intoxication as seen by their messages. It's very obvious in reading the messages that Blue kept things going and could have told an obviously drunk Sibo to stop, but he never did, and they kept messaging each other throughout the night. They would continue to chat together the next day, with Blue sending a pic over, and the screenshot of his 10 gigabyte folder would first come to fruition that day as well. Sibo would go on to explain that there was no issue given they only had a 1-year age gap, but that they were obviously drunk and Blue kept it going. Sibo also says that Blue hit on them first, but it's clear that Sibo did it first while drunk, so take that however you feel. They will go on to show Blue interacting with the 15-year-old on his NSFW alt Twitter account, and that he was liking tweets related to MNSFW Twitter, implying that Blue might be into that stuff. Zibo also straight up says that Blue is into, I can't say that word obviously, but there's no proof to this claim at all, so again, take this however you feel. Sibo would start to talk about Blue and his manipulative behavior, first writing a paragraph about how Blue was known for clout chasing in the Geometry Dash community, and would only talk to you if he could become friends with popular people through you, or however he figured it out. They say others can back him up with these claims, but again provides no evidence to this, and you're led to believe that he's a clout chaser based off their word and nothing more. He goes on to provide an example of Blue stealing other people's designs and ideas for his own, showing how Blue used a music video for inspiration in his own Geometry Dash level, and implying that it was blatant stealing. They go on to explain that this was to show how Blue has a history of stealing designs and that he never talked about the original music video unless he was confronted about it. Along with this was a tweet of Blue throwing shade about a victim of another issue that went down, and how Blue has a lack of care for big issues that go down and resorts to making fun of victims. A really long tangent from Sibo about how Blue isn't a wholesome person, but an asshole would commence, and Sibo would start to go into another experience they had with him, this time about an argument they had in a voice chat that led to them having a bit of a fallout, that Blue never responded to them after their message in their DMs after everything went down, and how this shows that Blue is a manipulative piece of shit. The end of the document would be a TLDR of everything they said about Blue, along with an organized list of links used throughout. After reading the document, I'd be lying if I said it wasn't a bit weird to think about, because while Sibo brought up some good points like the art with the minor, hitting on an obviously drunk person in themselves, and responding to a 15-year-old on the NSFW alt Twitter account, a lot of other things could be seen as inconclusive or downright petty. The animation in the Geometry Dash level was clearly inspired by the music video and not copying. The point of Blue having a giant folder of images was moot and was only included to make him look like a massive weirdo and creep so that he looked bad and nothing more. And their argument together was literally just an argument between people and not really something you bring up when trying to expose somebody for heinous stuff unless you're just being petty. Either way, the good points stuck out to everyone who read, and so within the next couple hours, Blue would come out with his own document explaining his side to everything in order to clear his name up. Blue would confess that he has an addiction to said images and he wasn't proud of it, but after seeing the initial tweets exposing Amore, he finally took a step back to see how bad it had gotten, and that once Amore left the internet, he decided to delete the folder altogether. He explains that it was true that some minors were following his NSFW alt Twitter, and that he forgot to remove them from following the account, and how he should have been more vigilant with running said account. Blue goes on to talk about their interaction with Sibo, and despite them having a known drinking problem, he shouldn't have kept up the conversation given their intoxicated state of mind. He even shows some screenshots of Zebo saying that everything was fine the day later, and proof that their interaction was legal age-wise between the two of them. He goes on to explain that he's a big morals believer, and talks about how Zebo throwing around some serious accusations, implying he's into kids ain't no joke, and is really fucked up of them to do. Blue responds to Zebo's claims of being a clout chaser and defends himself, saying that Zebo is reaching so hard to villainize him with claims that literally go nowhere and are purely nothing but drama for the sake of it, and says he doesn't become friends with people for anything other than just to be a good person overall. Blue would show that he apologized to the person in question when throwing shade, as he didn't understand the severity of that situation, and said apology is still up on his Twitter account to this day, and really paints Zebo as someone who purposefully left out this information just to make Blue look as bad as possible. He goes on to explain that their argument was literally just a petty argument and nothing more, and questions why Zebo would even include this unless they had ulterior motives in mind. The end of the document would be Blue stating that the 15-year-old he asked for stuff from on Twitter got exposed for lying about their age beforehand, and that he only interacted with them because their account had the 18+ symbol at the time. It shows that he can't even find the original post from that account anymore as well. After Blue's document dropped, Zebo would respond to it in a Twitter thread. They would say that the evidence of him breaking the law is still there, and that whether you want to believe him about the minors following his NSFW account is just a word and nothing more. They were going to explain that they were never a bad person when drunk, never had a drinking problem, and never treated other people badly, dropping a link to Mike the Magic Man's own response, the voice actor for Bob in the Bob and Bosa mod. Mike would make a series of posts that basically come down to saying that Blue was over-exaggerating Zebo's drunkenness to make them look bad to the point of malicious intent, and that Mike never witnessed anything negative coming from Zebo in the times they drank in the voice calls. Mike would say that Blue was downplaying the voice call and that he was generally mad at Zebo for playing a different game, and that's how everything blew up in their faces. Mike's thread would end off by stating he was defending Zebo after being dragged through the mud by Blue in his document. Things would head back to Zebo stating he never initiated their explicit conversation. Zebo would go on to say that Blue was victim blaming them and that he took advantage of them while they were drunk, and that Blue had no proof to show he didn't interact with the 15-year-old on Twitter when their account said 18+. They would conclude the thread by saying that Blue was trying to flip the script in order to make him look bad and malicious with their intent in making the document to begin with. Blue would respond to Zebo's thread and accept that he did victim blame them and that he regrets taking advantage of them while they were drunk. He goes on to explain he has no indecent images, but that's all up to his words, so it is what it is, and explains that his memory from the argument in the voice chat was bad and that he was sorry for misremembering. He would conclude everything with a long post apologizing for his own actions, stating he felt cornered and that Zebo wasn't the bad guy in the situation at all. Things would end off with him stating that he would talk to his college counselor about how to improve himself, and that he would take a long hiatus from the internet for the time being. Blue would post updates on his mental health journey on his alt account at that time, and then he would finally come back to his main account on May 6th, when he dropped a 26-page document going over the past couple weeks. The document would start off with him explaining why he made it to begin with, stating that his college doesn't cover online therapy and only in person, and since summer was coming up, it wouldn't be possible anymore. He goes into detail on his therapeutic journey thus far, and then starts to go into the misconceptions made about him during the drama. He goes over how some people now think he's into kids because of the lies stated about him and how it's awful to deal with, and how some people just call him names and treat him badly for no real reason at all. Blue would apologize to Zebo again and states that since he never responded to his private one, he felt it was necessary to make a public one. He reminisces how they used to be good friends, but that the fame got to his head and he started to treat them differently to the point it ruined their friendship altogether, and that he was ignoring his feelings and it led him down a path of an abusive friendship. He goes on to talk about how they were always sticking by each other's side, but he let his own actions ruin a good friendship, and that talking to his college therapist helped him figure out the wrongs of his ways, and that he is truly trying to fix himself whether he or other people believe him or not. The next couple pages would be him apologizing to people not involved in this drama, so we'll move right ahead. Blue will go on about the changes he was making in his life and the way he carries himself for the next 2 or so pages, talking about how he plans to share his graphic design passions more, basically stating he plans on doing positive things in order to create a more positive mindset and lifestyle around it. He also states he's not interacting with minors on Discord anymore because it's too much of a risk given that people try to twist things and he doesn't want to deal with that kind of stress anymore. He would end things off calling out YouTuber Captain Jack Attack for not covering his side of the story and being extremely biased with his coverage, and overall doing a shit job at covering things to begin with, going on about how he needs to be more truthful given his style of content, as getting things wrong, incorrect, or with clear bias can be really bad for his career. He would thank YouTuber Serial Introvert for being concise with his coverage as well as being informative and unbiased, and that he respects the work put in it even if it's still about stuff that made him look bad. SIBO would respond through somebody else's post where they said they wouldn't forgive him, saying that they'll forgive but not forget, that there's things about Blue that never made it to the public given the circumstances, but again, given how SIBO has said a lot of hearsay throughout this entire drama, it's up to interpretation. This is one of the first situations where I can say that it genuinely feels like someone is changing their ways and not pulling off some sort of sneaky shit. Reading Blue's apologies doesn't feel like someone trying to cling on for any support they can get, but someone who acknowledged their own mistakes and is trying to atone for their past sins. Both SIBO and Blue did their own mistakes, like SIBO trying to bring up things with no proof to paint Blue as bad as they could, and Blue with being extremely reckless with the NSFW side of himself, and being a bad friend overall, but I can say that both seem to be heading in the right direction for themselves. It's quite nice to see a story where everybody moves ahead in a positive direction, even if the stuff that went down wasn't so positive to begin with. With all that being said, not all stories in this video will have a happy ending like this, and unfortunately for us, the next story is about someone who, instead of doing the correct thing to fix themselves, would just try and go ahead and pretend nothing they did is wrong, much to the dismay of all those keeping up with everything going on. Mirth is a Brazilian YouTuber who's well known for her animation videos based around Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach, Friday Night Funkin', and most recently her Kirby and Hailing YouTubers animations. She got her start in the Ace Attorney community and was like any other artist, posting stuff on her DeviantArt page for a while and whatnot. Time would go on, and after having a dormant YouTube channel originally under the name Kodomodachi, she would post her first video, that being Among Us with cute little bunnies. The video didn't do very well as the Among Us hype train had since died down, so she moved on to the next one, Friday Night Funkin'. She would find her initial success in a video of boyfriend spinning in a chair, and got even more success making a video of Pico in a maid outfit. She would copy this formula for the next few months, gaining millions of views, and when things were all said and done, would get 100,000 subscribers in just that small time span. What started off as a story of somebody finally breaking through the hellscape that is YouTube and making an online career for themselves would quickly change, and given how this video has gone thus far, I'm sure you guys have an idea of what happened. On May 10th, 2021, DMs would leak of an argument between Kodomodachi and another person. What sounds like a normal argument over a relationship gone wrong quickly became much more troublesome, as it would turn out that Kodomodachi was dating a 13-year-old and didn't give a shit about it, hence the "so what" statement to the other party. She was 18 when this happened, and while it came out that the relationship lasted no longer than a day, the fact she went through with trying to date a 13-year-old is insanely crazy to hear about. Suddenly, the story of another promising YouTuber was on the line once more, with people talking about it left and right in the Friday Night Funkin' community, but Kodomodachi wasn't going down without a fight. On Twitter, she'd make a post acknowledging what had been going on, but states that dating a 13-year-old at her age is perfectly legal, which as expected caused a bunch of people to get understandably pissed off at her for saying that. She would delete her Discord server after a massive dumpster fire went down, with people either defending, admonishing, or downright trashing her for getting into the relationship, and eventually made a community post on her YouTube channel going over what had been going on. She admits to engaging in the relationship with a 13-year-old, but had no bad intentions or anything, and exclaims that she feels sorry for disappointing everyone and how she lashed out and treated others badly in response. She expresses regret for what she had done, says she'll be taking a break, and ends things off asking people for advice on how to improve herself as a person for the upcoming future, with a meme to top it all off. However, despite her public response, behind the scenes she was still adamantly defending herself after they broke up, saying the relationship is like between two siblings now, but given she only broke up with him after the news went public, it really gives off a weird vibe and sounds more like Kodomodachi wanted to stay close to the 13-year-old despite the obvious bad implications that come along with it. Another leaked message will show her still defending the relationship, doubling down and stating that it's perfectly legal for the two of them to date each other, despite it clearly not being perfectly moral, and given the way this case looks, I say the moral argument is much stronger than the legal one. YouTuber Harley TBS would have a conversation with Kodomodachi, talking about how they wanted to learn from the situation so it doesn't repeat itself, and after discussing what was going on, she would admit that she knew the relationship was wrong, but not the consequences of it, and say that they knew their behavior was wrong. She would get into a long-winded discussion with YouTuber RedKnight77 about what was going on, with screenshots like hers saying that if he knew it was uncomfortable, he could just leave because she did nothing wrong, and how it was all a mistake and that nobody is perfect, and she's learning and all that sort of stuff. The 13-year-old would actually come out with a message saying that they met through YouTube and became friends, but that when they started a relationship together, they realized they should stop it as it was wrong. Another leaked message would show Kodomadachi talking about an experience with a 13 or 14-year-old and how she felt uncomfortable with his advances, and was an example of her confusing feelings for people. More messages will leak of her wanting to keep her YouTube career alive, and so Kodomadachi would make another community post going over things once more. She claimed she got the proper rest she needed, and that she didn't understand the severity of what she did at the time, while also claiming that she made a small mistake and that people are starting to sound like a broken record by constantly bringing it up. She says she's still good friends with the 13-year-old, and that they were both just confused on their feelings of friendship, and that the experience going on knocked some sense into the both of them. She says that people were being excessive, labeling her as a menace, and that she'll rise up from what happened because people won't tell her who she is, only she can do that. While yes, it's true, this can be a learning experience for anyone, there was one small issue that came with this post. Kodomadachi was still friends with the 13-year-old in question. People brought it up in the comments, and in a thread with RedKnight777, she would say that she wouldn't abandon their friendship despite everything that went down, that nobody can tell her what they are, and that nobody will stop her dreams. As you can see, this is very concerning to hear, as all she had to do at this point was admit her faults in trying to date them and drop them all together, but she still wanted to be close by to them, and given the situation, people were rightfully up in arms against this. After all this went down, she would take a hiatus saying she was going to retire the channel and dip out from the internet, but not before going on a really long tangent about social media and relationships and to not let anything influence your choices, notably saying she won't repeat the same mistake again. After this, she would purge a couple million views from her channel and go radio silent on the public level. She would come back to YouTube on September 27th with a video introducing herself as Mirth now, rebranding the channel a little bit. She would make an extremely long-winded description responding to the haters, which just reeks of somebody who doesn't want to take accountability for what they did, and is just trying to get the epic own on everyone, while also trying to keep their YouTube career alive. People in the comments obviously started to clown on her, and she would try to defend herself, but for those who knew who she was beforehand, it was just another attempt at somebody trying to scurry their way back into the career they so desperately craved. Now by this point, it's obvious she's trying to rush her comeback and started to make videos not related to Friday Night Funkin' in order to gain a new subscriber audience that had no idea of her past. With that being said, people screw up in life, and you know what? After doing it once, it should be a lesson to learn from. So no harm, no foul, right? Well, it turns out that Mirth has a history of dating people well below her age, and this was all the way back when she was known as Cosmos in the Ace Attorney community. On October 3rd, RedKnight777 would make a YouTube video going over her time in the Ace Attorney community back when she was 17 years old. He first shows a conversation between her and a friend talking about—
Oh my god. Gulp. Whoops, I'm sorry. So I'd say music is hard. It's not. I mean, music is hard, but it's like playing a playlist isn't hard. Trying to get copyright striked is hard. Not really. I hope I don't get copyright striked. Should I like? No, I'm not gonna turn off my mic. I am going to keep my microphone on. I've done 4 gifts so far. Maybe even 5 if I can work fast enough. 5? Gotta leave 3 for tomorrow. And writing character descriptions. I think I can do that on like less than a day or whatever. Theme Firestar.
About someone she liked, and it would turn out that this someone was that 13-year-old she mentioned being creepy earlier in this video, and that she told people that so long as nothing happens between the two of them, that it was okay for her to date them, which she basically confirms in another message she sent to her friend. Suddenly, this became a pattern of behavior. It seemed that someone used the same excuse that if they don't do nothing between each other then it's okay, not only with this relationship, but also the one when she was in the Friday Night Funkin' community. It became very clear that this was just an excuse she used to get people off her back whenever she got any heat for her actions. Mirth would jump ship over from Friday Night Funkin' to Five Nights at Freddy's and make videos about the new game security breach, getting millions of views in the process once more. She wouldn't acknowledge Red Knight's video until sometime in January 2022, when she left a comment on the video getting mad at him for coming out with this information. She would reply coping again more about how he's trying to spread hate to her channel, questioning how if she truly was a bad person, why is Enzo, an ex of hers, defending her, how the drama is old, how bringing up her past doesn't scare her, blah blah blah, you get the point already. Mirth basically just got mad Red Knight brought this up and showed...
¿Qué? No.
Whatever it means to you. What do I mean by gay? Yes. But you're unsure if you might be fully gay? I love when someone's like so positive and just try to use semantics to get out of your girlfriend's gay. Well, you better be gay.
I think this is a fully gay woman.
How would you describe your sexuality? Anyone but a cis straight man. Okay. And you're sure about that? Have you fucked cis straight men? Yeah. So is it? How old are you? 31. So like 3 weeks ago.
Way back in 2024, I was having sex with a man, but I'm different now.
I also like this particular sexuality because like I'm sure there are some people who are born that way, but of this particular sexuality, a lot of women are made to be this way. They're pansexual, right? But they've eliminated one category of people because they don't like those people. Their personalities. Am I wrong? No. There's nothing really to work with here.
Yeah.
Let's find someone else. Is anyone going through anything? Yes. What are you going through? I don't know why we're clapping that they're going through it.
Let's get their input. Is this gay or?
Yeah, would this
Before we
be?
move forward, I think we need to figure
Yeah,
out.
let's take the expert no, you're perfectly fine. I mean, not fun at parties, but fine here. You just know how confusing it is to the parents. Her thing? Great. You sounded unsure about that. Alright, so who's trans in the back and you struggle with it?
The entire crowd.
What's your name? Nick. Okay, and I'm assuming you're a trans man. And what's going on? Wait, what? What? No. I would just like to say that the queer community is so afraid of one another that all of you went, because not a single one of you knew whether that was good or bad. Okay, so you're passing, but you don't want to be passing. I'm not passing, but I work in construction. They have a lot of questions.
Yeah.
Like what?
Like, does that mean that if you're into women, that now means that you're one of us? And it's like, absolutely not.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you right now, you agree with them on that one. Then you get male privilege. What are you worried about? That is the only, if a bunch of men on a construction site respect you, you have won feminism. You have won the queer lottery, you've beaten homophobia, transphobia, you're number one, dude. We've gotten so queer, it's like full circle. You're like, no, I want them to respect me, but also not accept me.
It's a lot of math, but I'm on Nick's side.
No, I'm on the construction workers.
You're on the well, I'd say I like that the construction workers speak in one of us. I
Yes,
think that's really fun.
I think that's really actually quite cool of them.
No, I was more.
You guys don't think that's kind of cool of them that they're trying to connect with you?
I like that they're like.
These guys are like, I'm not getting involved.
Nick to find out publicly, and then we will report on it on TikTok, and you will lose your career.
All I know is this bitch is so horny right now. She's like, yeah, I don't know what this person is, but queer for sure.
It kind of depends on what the construction workers say. If the construction workers agree that Nick is a man.
Oh, is this cis man? Well, not cisgender.
Well, haha! That's math, motherfuckers! Anyway, but that's kind of cool. I would not expect construction workers to be so chill about it.
Yeah, tell us the tone of Are they sort of encapsulated then?
It would be better. It's more of a one of us.
Expand, because I don't understand.
They get really confused because I have long hair and I have had top surgery. So whenever we're in a little vest situation or wearing less clothes, yeah, still a dude.
Oh, they check in. Yeah, that's bad.
That's really
I
bad.
think we can all agree that that's bad.
Still a dude is so fun.
Yeah.
That is so. Hey, just want to check in. Like every day.
I see that you haven't locked them off yet.
So was there like a timeline on this shit?
We have been waiting.
Also, I just love that there's this construction place where you're in little. How did you? The words that they use were fantastic.
Yes.
Well, I think you work at a gay porno. If you worked in, it's a little vest situation. I think that's the word that Nick used when we're often in little vest situations. Let me tell you, I don't know what gender you are, but you are a faggot. When we're in little vest situations.
And that's beautiful.
No, it's not. Twins are disgusting, even if they're trans. Don't believe the propaganda.
Wait, do they catcall women? Okay, everyone. I really hope they invite you to do that, and if a woman gets mad, they go, "Hey, he's trans." And you are not affirming his gender unless you suck his little clit. Sorry, big clit. Mine was a little clit. My bad, Nick. How's your clit right now? Good? Pretty medium? Hey, that's growth.
You gotta work on your cat calls.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, I'm trying to come up with one right now. Like if you're...
Yeah, start with oh gay one. For sure.
Wait, are you into women?
Yeah.
What would be one trans cat call?
Whatever comes from your soul.
Oh my god, that's so funny.
Here, I'll
No, I need more time. I think Nick would be more entertaining.
I'm more of a lady.
You're the fucking... Oh my god, no. That's mine!
Just like a
Nick, did they ever, like, go do activities together? Afterwards?
Like cool and everything.
It's so cool. Sorry, this is a society that I dream of.
One of them doesn't have a pinky.
Did you take it from him for reasons that I won't get into right now? What happened to the pinky? Vamoose?
A Jewish person took it? Oh no! Was he for Clemens when he vamoosed the pinky?
Vamoosh is not a term that I don't think that's Yiddish. I've not heard vamoosh.
Is this a gender?
What is vamoosh?
I think I'm. Dude, I seem like kind of stupid sometimes because, you know, I got a cold because I was talking to a friend I mentioned earlier, and it's kind of like, yeah, yesterday's stream, your freaking video just started playing in the background. Silence. Because, well, I'm listening to the actual government show. Well, I'm not even listening to it, it's just the second background noise to my background noise. It's like a triple layer of sound. But like the first layer of sound is overpowering the second.
Back to the hotel because we're in this. There were not enough beds. So me, Sam, and Jen are sharing a bed tonight. And it's gonna be weird enough fingering Jen as is.
No, Nick is quiet. Nick and I are gonna be quiet.
That's almost. I don't. No. I'd rather know if my friend were fucking someone next to me in bed. I'd rather know exactly what was going on than occasionally hearing.
Nueva Verboa. Su tecnología centrifusión lee cada cápsula para liberar todos los sabores y matices de cada café. Nespresso.
I was trying to f this hot barista in my neighborhood. Yeah. Want you a barista?
I can be.
Isn't that your girlfriend? You can share. I'm not fucking that guy. Are you? No, I'm not. No, sit down. Sit down, little dyke. Absolutely not. See, I don't want to fuck you because that's gay, dude. If I fuck your girlfriend, that's straight, and if I fuck you, that's... What's that? It's slightly homophobic, yeah. But it's also very funny. Oh my god, no, no. Oh my god, no.
Dude, I've been struggling way too long on Boopo.
I'd just like to say that 2 minutes ago, this woman wanted to f me. All right, yeah, do your thing. Interrupt my show for your once in a lifetime moment that no one cares about. Okay, can you sit back down, please? I'd just like to say that no one talked to me about this. Yeah. You guys must be so fun at parties. Well, that is beautiful, and love is love. And I'm so happy for you guys. Can I do my show now? Literally, you know what's really funny is in the beginning of the show, I literally was like, hey, no proposals. I didn't see no proposals. Honestly, this is so beautiful and amazing, and I feel so like lucky to have seen it and to have been a part of your story. And then one day you'll get divorced, and no, I'm messing around. You guys seem really healthy, but that wasn't a joke. You made it a joke by imposing your opinion onto it. No, it's awesome. I would totally propose to my girlfriend at a comedy show. The point is, you know, you did it at the Ashley Gavin show. I assume you want to be involved in some way because you proposed publicly at my show. So, but what if I would have said no? What if you said no? No, you're too smart for that. Come on. You do that later backstage, but off stage. The point is, at the beginning of the show, remember when I was like, please don't do anything weird during the show. Do it after at the end. And then I'm in the middle of the closing joke and you were like, I can't wait another second. So I'm trying to fix this hot barista in my neighborhood. How the f do I just have to do my jokes now? I can't even be like, all right, good night. Like, I have to now do more jokes. No. It's totally, I think it's so beautiful. What are your names?
I'm Sam, this is Marissa.
Sam and Marissa. Cool. That's awesome, you guys. How long have you been together? 2 years. Okay.
And I said, hell yeah.
Well, you didn't say anything. You asked her to. Yeah. Okay. Well, good. So I'm trying to fuck this hot barista.
Securitas Direct es ahora Very Sure. Cambia el nombre, pero no lo que somos. Primeros en proteger.
Soy Joseba de Carglass. ¿Crees que un pequeño impacto no es importante?
Oye, ya llevas días con esto, ¿no?
Es pequeño, no pasa nada. Sí que pasa. Mejor repáralo antes de que se rompa. Pide cita en carglass.es y en 30 minutos reparamos tu parabrisas. Recuerda, pon siempre carglass.es.
Carglass cambia, Carglass repara.
En Carglass, por la reparación o sustitución de tu parabrisas, te regalamos un kit de limpieza casada.
I don't know what lesbian intern made this video. Thank you for helping these women on their journey. What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new to the channel, my name is Mac. I post videos on Friday. A couple weeks ago I saw this video from The Cut where straight women kiss other straight women for the first time. I'm just really excited for this video because you guys might not know this, but at one point I was a straight woman who kissed a woman for the first time. I see, I think, about 7 straight women and then one brave closeted bi girl who snuck onto the set. Quick disclaimer, because this is the internet. This is a lighthearted video for fun. I am gonna make jokes about their sexuality, but that is mostly just because they decided to participate in a video where they are kissing other women. When I do that, I get called a lesbian. Maybe this is just a piece of their journey. Maybe it's a video that they just thought was fun. They just wanted to do it. None of us really know, but all of these jokes are coming from a very light, loving, lesbian place. Immediately know a lesbian edited this. You put the kisses in slow-mo. It wasn't in slow-mo for these girls, except for the one closeted bi girl. As a lesbian, I remember what it was like kissing guys, and nothing was in slow-mo. It was very fast, far too fast, far too much time.
Do it again. You're so pretty. Thank you. I love your hair.
This is that predicament of, is it a nice compliment from a girl's girl, or was a femme lesbian just trying to flirt with you and you didn't pick up on it because you're also femme lesbian?
I love your hair.
Walk towards each other.
Hello. How are you?
Go meet the person you're gonna kiss.
Hi. Oh my god, you're so cute. Thank you. Hi. We're kind of
Handshake is crazy. Y'all are about to lock lips. If I was that closeted bi girl on this set right now and I was like, this is my opportunity to kiss a woman for the first time, but like still say that I'm straight until I'm ready, I would absolutely be going for a handshake. Because if you hug a woman that you're about to lock lips with, that is really where we should draw the line.
Oh, hi.
Meet each other.
Come on, let me see you walk. I'm behind the scenes. Take that shoulder and you drop it. Because you don't give a fuck. You gotta feel like you're the only person in the world. That's how I go about things.
Why am I nervous with this girl? I feel like I need to get up and like walk a lap around my apartment complex. She has such a convincing tone. I just have to say, if the girl that she's paired up with is not queer, it will show immediately, because any lesbian or bi girl that was paired up with this girl, I feel like would be blushing right now.
Asia, how old are you?
She seems a little nervous.
How old are you?
I'm however old you want me to be, like...
Nervous. I know. Just keep thinking about it. How are you feeling?
I'm good. I was just actually telling them that I feel very like first date vibes. Oh, well. Yeah, it's a little nerve-wracking, but I'm also like really excited. I'm a dancer. Do you like to dance? I don't really know how to dance. That's okay. And then we're gonna go with this.
Interesting how she notices that the other girl's a little bit nervous and just decides randomly that she's just gonna take the lead. She's just gonna break the ice, make her relax a little bit. In the queer community, we call that a top. But of course, she's just a straight woman.
What made you want to do this?
That's a great question. I'm glad somebody asked that question. What made you want to do this? What possessed you to do this?
Cool to go out of my comfort zone. Totally. Yeah. What about you? I've been with my partner for 6 years.
I swear, if she says it's a guy, straight people, it's gonna be a guy, because that's how straight people work, man.
So it's been a while. I'm out of the game. So when he felt comfortable with this, I was like, that's kind of cool. Right on. What about you?
Would he have been comfortable if it was with another guy, though? I don't know. I feel like they should have gotten single straight women. Got a bad taste in my mouth from that one, not gonna lie.
Yeah. I asked my boyfriend, I was like, should I do this? And he was like, yes, you definitely should. When have you kissed?
Yes, you definitely should.
Babe, should I go on this show and kiss another woman?
Yeah, you definitely should. You definitely should do that.
Ew, that's weird. I know that the lesbian intern didn't arrange this piece of it. She wouldn't have gotten women in relationships, because that's weird, you guys. Unless you're in an open relationship, you kiss guys and girls, kiss whoever you want. Okay, then it's not weird.
For him to be like, you should definitely do that. You should definitely get on that cut video. Hey, babe, are you on the set of that cut video right now? How's it going? What do the other girls look like?
When is the last time you kissed anybody?
I'm divorced now.
Okay.
So...
Congratulations, girl.
It's been a little bit. I've never really had the chance to, like, experiment with anyone, so I saw it all.
Okay.
And you're shooting my shot.
For sure. Sure, so did you... This girl snuck on the set. Come on.
Havaiana. Espalhe o molho brasileiro pro mundo.
Davante da FP Master. Da FP Oficial, Máster Universitario, ventaja en el mercado laboral.
Everybody was like, I asked my boyfriend. He said it was totally fine for me to come on the show. This girl, I just got a divorce and I never got a chance to experiment. I wonder where our secret bi girl is in this lineup. The one over there who asked if she could make a quick call to her boyfriend, or the divorcee shaking in the corner taking the MIK quiz.
So did you come into this thinking that there is a chance that you're not straight?
I don't know. That's a great question. I would say that I'm like straight, kind of curious. Okay. I've always been like women.
Straight curious. I've never heard of straight curious before. I think of straight curious, I think about like me being curious about straight people. Why can't the woman propose? Why are Saturdays for the boys? Why are they having kids before their frontal lobe develops?
Why are you doing this?
I just have always been afraid, I feel like, a lot of my life. And
okay.
I had a baby this year. Like, I never thought I would get through labor. And now I'm like, what else can I do that I think I can do?
All right, well, let's just do the peg first. Hey, Miss Snowglorbz.
This girl is really taking charge.
All right, well, let's just do the peg first.
She feels very confident, comfortable, which was not my first experience kissing a girl. The other girl, she seems like she realized something when their lips touched.
Hey, Miss Snowglorbz.
I'm glad that she got paired up with this girl because this other girl seems like she really takes charge. She's confident, she's comfortable.
Can we do that again? The kiss? Just it's nice and soft.
What would you like to drink? I like vodka cran.
One vodka cran, please.
Oh, she threw that up quick. If you're not familiar, this is peacocking for lesbians. Doesn't matter if you're calling for a drink, doesn't matter if you're throwing up a peace sign. Putting up a finger like that, this is sapphic peacocking. And from the looks of it, it's working.
What's the bar?
I think I'm gonna finish number 4 now and the string.
I'll give her a kiss.
I really like video.
Then I have to work on character descriptions. Yesterday I got really super carried away with double troubles. I did not realize I had so much to say about it.
Actually, maybe that's not a big deal. I don't feel nervous when I think about it. No, I do, because it's threatening. I don't feel intimidated. Never mind.
I like a giggle. I love a little. Yeah, yes, the arm touch, the shoulder touch.
Ladies. Whoa. You ladies all right?
Now we're dancing. Can I touch you? Yeah. Okay, now we're like dancing close. Ooh.
It is brutal watching some of these women have an awakening while the other ones are just like totally relaxed, totally chill.
I like it like, I think like passionate.
I like passion, I guess. Okay. I like a little bit of color.
But you can't spell passion without pass, and that's exactly what sapphic women do when it comes to men.
Eyes open or eyes closed?
Eyes closed.
You sure? You know,
whatever you like, girl, whatever.
I want to see. I didn't want to see stuff. Like if I'm gonna sit and be like, oh, my breath must stink.
Girl, your breath doesn't stink. I know her breath doesn't stink. I just know that.
Okay. You want to hold my hand? Yes.
Yes. Like, yes. Lesbian edited this. No doubt in my mind a lesbian edited this. Back here interjecting the video really quick. If you guys are watching this video the Friday it came out, that means that we also just dropped our Kickstarter for the lesbian sitcom that I'm making. If you haven't already heard, I'm making a lesbian sitcom. I've teamed up with a production studio to make this. We are making it independently, which means no networks are involved, which means that we have to fund it independently. If you have ever watched a piece of content of mine, a video of mine, and you have thought, wow, I'd love to buy Mac coffee because she loves coffee so much. And you now feel like you want to put that $5 into our Kickstarter, then you are directly contributing to this project being made. This is our first line of funding to get pre-production stuff started, kickstart conversations with brands and other investors so that we can make more money to make the show. If you can donate, that is amazing and it is so helpful. If you're not able to donate but you still want to support, you can still help by literally just going to the crowdfunding page and following the page. It's free to follow, you don't have to donate to follow, and that still helps us get attention from other people and meet certain incentive goals. There's a paid way to help, there are free ways to help. If you help at all, thank you from the bottom of my heart. We are so excited to get this project made one way or another. It's a rough road, trying to get something like this made, trying to get this lesbian media made, but we're gonna do our best, we're gonna find a way, and if you want to contribute to that way at all, thank you so much. I can't wait to give you guys more updates on the project and where we're at. If you donate, drop a comment down below so I can personally thank you, because seriously, this is our first line of funding for this project. You are putting $5, $10, whatever, following the page. If you are doing that for us, you are directly contributing to lesbian media being made. Alright, I'm not going to interrupt the video any longer. Thanks for listening to my little rant.
Should we do it again? Okay.
I wish I was this happy after I kissed a girl for the first time. I did not have this kind of dialogue with myself. It was more of like, don't do that again or you're going to hell.
Okay, alright.
These two, come on now. Come on, I'll pay for the room. I'll pay for the room. It gets to a point when you're watching the cut straight women kissing other women video where watching the women kissing other women is starting to feel a little bit gay. The audio is crazy. The audio is crazy. The audio is crazy. Why am I covering up? It's not helping the audio go away.
Oh my god, all that makeup is on her face. Oh, fix it for me.
Your makeup's not messed up at all.
It's on your face. It's really bad.
It's really bad.
Why are you thinking cute?
You don't want a mask in your life so bad that you give the femme that you're kissing a little goatee.
Did you like kissing me?
Yes, I mean, I was really nervous, but I feel like it was less nerve-wracking than...
Aw, because that made you feel comfortable.
You made me feel comfortable. Like, this is like the softness that I was hoping for.
Oh my god, I'm actually sweating from just watching this.
It was beautiful.
Yeah.
All these conversations, but mind you, some of them are still going at it. Pulling back with eye contact. Can I just... Bisexuality exists. Do they know that?
How was that for you? That was good. Okay. Yeah. How was that for you? I liked it. That was nice.
Very good with your tongue. Just a little bit. You were very like responsive to my kisses and like turning my head and stuff didn't feel like too awkward or anything like that. I'm definitely gonna try kissing.
Period. Yes. I was literally just about to say, you gotta get out there and you gotta find people that are your type. The difference is everything. Everybody has a type, or at least just has like people that they're attracted to, people they're not attracted to. Maybe it's a personality thing, maybe it's a, you really like dark hair. It makes a big difference. And especially in our lovely community, we have masks, we have femmes, we have chapsticks, we have studs, we have bushes, we have this huge spectrum of all different kinds of presentation. I was really hoping that this girl gets out there and explores all those different types of presentations.
I don't think anything really changed for me. I think I definitely just see it as like, that was a nice kiss.
Yeah. Would you kiss me one more time?
I would.
The girl that keeps pulling back and trying to make eye contact in the middle of the kiss, I gotta tell you something, honey.
It was kind of like nothing. Yeah, like I felt too. I didn't really feel much.
I didn't dislike anything about it. About the experience, loved the experience. It was great. I do think I'll continue to mostly kiss men.
Mostly? Mostly?
Oh, that was nice. Kind of like the hand.
Yeah, I forgot what I did with my hands.
I keep making fun of their tone, but like, understandably they're nervous. Like, I get why they feel a little bit nervous here in a non-gay way.
A woman saying you can't kiss, like, right. Ooh, right. A man, I'm like, meh, whatever.
I could definitely.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
I feel like there's something wrong with me.
Right.
Because I have like so many girlfriends who like just kiss their friends and it's no big deal.
I know.
I don't know how to feel. How do you guys feel about that? Straight, or at least straight claiming girlfriends kissing their friends? Because on one hand, I'm like, who cares? Like, people can do what they want. I think that my thought process is when guys start doing it in the same way with their guy friends, then it won't feel so much like when straight women do it, they're fetishizing sapphic love.
Am I like homophobic? Like, I don't think I am, but.
Yeah, or some girls are so comfortable kissing each other.
Am I homophobic? I don't think you're homophobic if you kiss a girl and you feel awkward about it. I don't think that's what homophobia is. I don't think being homophobic means that you yourself have to be gay or you are against us.
I'd be down to kiss more women in my life.
What, the girl with the bangs and the long prairie skirt and tons of necklaces on, she might want to kiss more women?
Okay.
You know how they say all women are like a little bit.
Yeah.
Who said that?
I'm so straight. Is that okay?
I also feel the same way.
Come on, you just haven't met the right girl yet.
I think if I want to talk to a girl now, I'm going to start making the first move. I'll definitely kiss a woman again. You want to catch me?
Third time's a charm, right?
Again? I didn't even kiss my girlfriend this much today. Are you for real?
Oh my god. A dip?
Yeah.
This is what queer women are talking about when we say sometimes we get mixed signals from girls that we don't know if they're gay or not. A couple seconds ago you were afraid that you were homophobic. Now you're dipping a girl to give her a kiss? Alright, that was the cut. Straight women kissing other straight women. Wow, what a time. I remember my days as a straight woman kissing other straight women. It's a very interesting video, obviously very complex. I hope all of these people find their journey with their sexuality and figure out if they're bi, maybe they're queer, maybe not, maybe they're just straight and their boyfriends wanted them to go on the show. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this.
To make their vile homosexual acts even easier to engage in.
Hey, what's up? Hello, welcome back to That Nerd Nat. I am Nat, a non-binary nerd with too much to say, and on this channel we talk about Star Wars, we talk about Lord of the Rings, we talk about all sorts of fun, nerdy stuff. So if you are a hot and cool nerd, you should subscribe so you can come hang out with us, because this is where hot and cool nerds hang out. And if you're a hot and cool nerd, you should come hang out with us, and to do that you have to subscribe, so you should subscribe. Today we are going to be talking a little bit less about nerdy stuff and a little bit more about gay stuff, because it is what? Pride Month, and I am what? Gay! Well, I'm technically non-binary and bisexual, but you know, gay in the plural either way. So, we've all seen it, right? The stuff your uncle reposts at 7 at night when he's already 15 beers deep. You know, the "this is my pride flag" and it's an American flag, or the poorly AI-generated Aryan family huddling together to escape the dirty, scary rainbow outside. You know, what I like to call conservative, usually Christian, anti-pride cringe. They love it, they pump it out every year, and every year it's pretty much the same slop over and over and over again. However, this year it has the particular pleasure of me reacting to it on video, because we are doing what today? We are reacting to anti-pride, conservative, usually Christian cringe content. Now, I want to say two things before we get started. One, I am aware that not all Christians are like this. I have some very lovely Christian family members, some very lovely Christian friends, and some very lovely Christian followers. However, you guys have some duds in there, okay? And like they are a bit of a PR disaster, so I will be taking shots at them. And also, I think that it's important for us to discuss the fact that, yes, a lot of the time this is tied to, like, especially American evangelical culture. Second thing, some people may take issue with the fact that I am people responding to these, looking at these, making fun of these. I think that some people, you know, think it's just like, oh, well, you're just spreading more negativity or whatever. Frankly, as a queer person, as someone who's directly affected by it, I think I'm well within my rights to make fun of it. I love having a little chuckle. I love having a little hee-hee, ha-ha at the expense of horrible people. I think that when we make fun of bigots, we take away their power. And also, I do think it like helps to bring levity to a situation. We as a queer community are dealing with this all the time. We're always dealing with people being hateful. We're always dealing with people who are trying to like rain on our parade, quite literally, actually. And it can be very therapeutic, I think, to just have a laugh at it. So with all of that said, let's look at some cringe. Some of these I've personally sourced myself. Some of them I have been sent by my beautiful, lovely followers over on Instagram. If you would like to be one of my beautiful, lovely followers over on Instagram,
I've done 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10.
One nerd mad, not to be confused with that nerd mad, which I am on here because that was taken.
I'm missing 4 of these. So, I guess. Okay, I'm sorry, Mr. Agnes. The code. I can, like, continue drawing, I guess.
Hello.
Hola, mama. I can, like, continue, I suppose. But I was gonna, no, yeah, I'm gonna call it quits. I'm so tired. I'm sorry. I'm gonna stop this right now. Okay. I'm generally so tired. I can start sketching. Dawn's one. Suppose.